Do you know that, Ramon?
I don't know this.
Wrong button to begin with. What's going on? Welcome to the Shit Vegan Show. I'm here with Abdullah and Simone. What's going on?
Hello.
Not much, mate.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having
Just want to
us.
like come a little bit closer.
A little
Like
bit closer.
this?
Yeah, if you can. Yeah. So whatever you hear,
Okay.
you'll be able to hear. Like that's how good it is. So that shouldn't. I'll take that away from the screen.
We'll do
So
this.
yeah, I'll tell you that. I'll begin by telling the story about how I met these guys. Was at a rally a couple of weeks ago, and I've known them like for a while, like on the internet and shit. I've actually met you. It probably wasn't memorable enough for you because
When-
it was just
when
at
did we
V-Spot. It was
Oh,
probably
you met
about a
everyone
year
at
ago.
V-Spot.
Yeah. Or whenever you were here last or whatever, and I went into V-Spot and you were there. I was, hey man, like, cause I knew who you were.
Oh,
I was like, hey man, what's going on? I'm Nick. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, hey man, Abdullah. Cool shit, whatever. And then, you know, pizzas and the night just went on. And
Were
then,
we were sitting together that night?
nah.
Okay.
No, I reckon I just went in and out. And then, yeah, the rally came around. I saw you there, met you there, and then met you there. And yeah, now we're here.
Here we are.
Yeah, so we're here just talking shit in the Shit Vegan Show. This one's been anticipated for quite some time, I think. This is probably the one that I've plugged the most.
Awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm just, you know, trying to fucking get my shit together. We had a plan on playing some Super Nintendo and Nintendo games, but I should have got that sorted earlier.
What Nintendo game do we have?
We've got Original Mario, so we'll chuck that on. Let me just get the emulator. But until then, do you want to just start by telling us, who wants to go first? Your vegan journey. You can go
Oh.
first.
Vegan Journey.
Tell us about it. How'd you go vegan?
Oh, mine was a bit of a. I originally went vegan probably 6 years ago. 6 years ago, then through just getting into the cycling community and finding out about veganism through that,
Yeah, wicked.
and then being surrounded by vegans who rode bikes, and I was getting into riding bikes at the same time, and
Yep.
I kind of went in and out for a little bit initially, and then that was really how it got started for me, and then I continued to learn about veganism and the ethics of veganism, and
You became one of those shit vegans.
yeah, and then it really stuck to me. It really, after about a year and a bit, I started to take on the ethics a bit more and learn more about it. And just through good friends like Joey, and pretty much Joey really helped me understand what veganism was more beyond the diet.
Yep.
You know, because I had done so many diets up until that point. You know, the idea of doing it as a diet to me wasn't enough. You
Yeah.
know, I needed more of a solid understanding of what it was and where it fitted into the whole ethical context of
I'm so
being-
excited. Yeah, sorry, go on.
being human. You know what I mean? And that really stuck with me, and then that's never left since I understood that. So
Yep.
that's really how I got started in veganism. And
Yeah.
where it began.
Pretty much the same. Like for me, it began as environment, and then I was like, fuck. I watched Cowspiracy, and then I just was like, shit, how do I still get animal products into my diet without contributing to animal agriculture? And then I was like, fuck, how do I do this? And
Yeah.
then I was sitting down eating lunch with my friends, buying vegan food, and then they just wouldn't finish their food. I was like, all right, well, you're going to eat that. So it was just going to go in the bin anyway. So I just started eating their food off their plate pretty much. And then I switched to kangaroo because I thought it was haunted, ethical, that sort of shit.
Wow.
And these are all the natural progressions, right? And then for me, I saw then What the Health. I was like, fuck, I don't need it for my health at all. And then Gary Roski's speech. And then that's it.
So how long ago was that?
Oh, probably about maybe 5 years, nearly 6 years myself. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it for the health. The health wasn't strong enough for me.
Yep.
Like I could easily get off veganism if it was about health. Do you know what I mean? Because I would just, I
Yeah.
came from, if you just wanted to look good and feel good and be fit, and that I felt like if it was about that, then veganism would be easy to get off. So
Yeah.
like when it came to ethics, I was like, this is so strong. Once you truly know,
Yep.
there's no real way of
Yeah.
turning back on that.
Yep.
And I actually did for a little bit.
You went back?
Yeah, I actually did
yeah.
momentarily and started eating dairy again.
Yeah.
But the amount of shame I was feeling,
Yeah.
it was like the whole world was judging me. Well, really, it was
Yeah.
just me judging myself.
It's
But
compelling.
I had this feeling that I was constantly looking over my shoulder, like someone was just watching and watching and watching.
Yeah.
And then when I
It was
pieced
you.
that together, that I was watching myself, and I was just so ashamed of my behavior.
Yeah.
Especially because I knew at that point, I didn't know what I knew deep down in my heart what veganism was. But at that point, it's like I didn't want to face it. I didn't want to face it, and I was trying to hide from it, but there was nowhere I could hide from it. It just kept catching up with me. And then once I realized that, I really looked into veganism hard, like
Yeah,
with
fucking
no just front on, and then there was no turning back. You know.
Yeah.
Down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, yeah. What about you? How'd you start?
Oh, like when people are often ask that question, they say, "Oh, when?"
Yeah.
You know, there's people that have like I know Joey has the 1st of November. He's like
World Vegan Day.
That
Yeah,
I know certain people can say, "Oh, this date." I don't have a date.
Yeah, same.
I don't have no
either.
idea. But all I remember was whenever Babe came out, whatever year that was, my mum took me to see Babe.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting in the movie, like tears streaming out of my face. And I was just like computing. Like I know they can't speak, but they can, but not in the way that movie portrayed. And I was just like, holy shit, they're not food. And it just penetrated. And I wasn't able to like get past that.
Yeah.
So then obviously this is back in the day when I never heard the word vegan.
Yeah, yeah.
But I went vegetarian back then. So whatever year that was. My memory has I was 12, but I don't know what, I guess you can look up when it came out. So, and then over the years, you know, as I learnt different things, as soon as I learnt something, that was it.
Yeah.
It was just a done deal. So, you know, you kind of, I guess some people have a way of being able to ignore it. I just wasn't able to ignore it. Like as soon as I learnt about eggs, it was like, oh, okay, they're done. It's like as soon as you know better, you just do better. That's how I feel.
Awesome.
But
I think that's
have
most
no
people
idea.
as well. Like I think that's pretty much everyone. When they know better, they do better, and it just so happened that you did it at a younger age. You know,
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, I had no idea. Same as you. Like if it was about health, no, that would have been. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got a few people in the stream as well. So you can see there on the left,
Oh, cool.
just there
Hello,
is the people on
people.
the stream. Usually there's a chat overlay. I'm not sure why that's not coming up, but that's okay. So we've got Chris Gonski.
Oh, he's mad. Shout out to Chris Gonski.
Yeah, Chris Gonski, old mate. I told him to get on the stream and ask
he's
Abdullah some
awesome.
questions.
Mm-hmm.
He's my mate. I've had him on the show actually from
have ya?
Zoom
Oh,
across.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to have him on
From
again
Victoria.
just to chat some more.
Can you read those words?
I can see his name. I can't see.
The words there.
I thought it
Maybe
was just
you
me
can.
because I'm
It's
40.
yeah.
So I see it down here too. I got it on my phone. So
Oh, awesome.
4 a.m. here. Guess who's not sleeping? That's Paul from Lithuania.
Oh
Shout
yeah, I
out
can
to
read
Paul.
that now.
Shout out to Paul. We've also got, Chris, ethics are definitely the way to go. It's easy to compromise on things when it's personally driven,
True.
like health and
True.
environment.
Very
True.
true. I think that's
Yeah.
the take home of veganism.
Yeah.
Really.
And you can ignore, like I know it sounds, this is just the truth, like you can get into a reality where you ignore what's going on environmentally because it's not in front of, like it's not in front of your face. So even though it's super important, I can see how people ignore because they're not seeing, you know, the damage in the forest and the damage in like it's not like right in your face. You go to the beach and you go, oh, this is pretty, must
Yeah.
all be good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll go and have a milkshake
Yeah.
or whatever.
I feel you. And when people go vegan for their health, it's pretty much they're just adopting the plant-based diet for their health.
Yeah, true.
And that's,
But it can start there.
Yeah.
Something that just shift takes inside of you when you get on the path initially, you know, and then it just slowly starts to grow on you. It slowly starts to grow on you, and once if you're open to it and you keep going and you go slightly deeper and slightly deeper, it becomes irreversible. You know, it becomes irreversible. But it's about health. People don't give a fuck about their health, man.
Yeah,
Like
nah.
we see people who
Say
know what's
they do.
healthy.
Go eat at V-Spot every week.
Yeah. Well, that's debatable. I think that's I think that's performance food.
Yeah.
People like generally in our life, most people know to make better food choices, but they don't. Or they know they should exercise a bit more, but they don't, or they whatever. And everyone experiences that to some degree.
Yeah.
You know, so health is probably it's a good way to. It can be a good place to start.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't make the next transition into strong ethics, it's so easy just to go. It's essentially go. Oh well, fuck it. I'll just have some fruit and nut chocolate, bruh.
Yeah,
It
easy.
tastes
Yeah.
good. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's, for it to be irreversible, I think it has to make the leap to ethics.
Oh,
It
for
can't
sure.
be health.
Yeah, I've never slipped up as a vegan.
Yeah,
Like,
neither.
Because you know the shame and the feeling and what it would
Yeah.
do to you. You know how much trauma it would inflict on you
Oh,
as a human being.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would be terrible, man.
I'm that person at the cafe. Is this soy? Is this soy? And I'm
She's like, is it soy? Is
stalking
it soy?
the-
Is it soy? They're having an anxiety attack when they look at her, eh? With the eyes.
I
She
just
gives them the
can't
soy
deal
eyes.
with the idea. And then because, you know, when you've been drinking soy milk for so long
you
that
drink
you
titty
can't, you actually are so used to it that doesn't, you can't, you know, when you first try soy milk and you're like, oh, that's soy.
It's so different.
Yeah. And then when you're so used to it and you're like, shit, I can't
Delicious.
tell, like bon soy, you can't tell.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've been so long
Doesn't
without
taste
it.
like soy.
You can tell when you have titty milk though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's foul.
Yeah. Have you had human breast milk?
When I was a kid, yeah.
Well, yeah. What about? Would you
As
have
an
some
adult?
as an adult?
No.
Fuck no.
Why not?
Because we're not babies.
Would you try it?
No.
No.
Nah.
No.
Do you see any ethical issues with it?
Oh, if you weren't into
I'd have
that,
to
if
think
you're into
about
that
it, but
stuff,
I think that's
like,
fine. Well, you're just not a baby. You'd be a weird. There's psychological issues with it.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Hey, what is this? Where are they getting it from?
Yeah. Consenting mothers.
Yeah, it's still you're a weirdo.
Yeah, no, I think so
Yeah.
too.
I mean,
I don't
there's
see any
probably a
ethical issues, though.
reality if you go, like if someone felt they weren't developed enough in some areas
Yeah.
and they needed, if
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
true.
that
Yeah.
could be a thing.
You
But
ever do that though? They want the colostrum and they want, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's in breast milk. I want the colostrum. I want to get big and I want to do. Fuck, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, hey.
serious.
Like, there's probably other
Surely
things you
titty
can
milk
do.
is performance food.
There's other things you could do to be healthy than suck on
Yeah. That was
breast milk. You know, as an adult.
I had that as a sort of topic on the show the other week, and we were just talking about it. And someone had made like ice cream out of her own breast milk, and her husband had tried it and was fine or whatever, and it made the news. And I was thinking like, well, I don't see any ethical issues with it.
No,
I
there's
wouldn't
not.
do it.
It's weird.
but it's
but
weird.
Nothing.
Bizarre,
Nothing.
like-
Yeah.
Out of all the things you can do in the world, out of all the ice cream you could possibly have,
Yeah.
why would you sit down and go, you know what, I'll milk my tit
Yeah.
and make you, my husband, some ice cream.
Konski, surely titty milk is performance food.
I know it's got some good stuff in there, you know.
Hormones.
I know it's got some good hormones in there. And
Generation Mars, chatting from Arizona. Paulie's
Shout out to
vegan, never slipped as a vegan, same way I never slipped as a non-child abuser. Morality. That's what's up.
I
Facts.
dare say, I've never really slipped as a vegan. But when I thought I was vegan, I was plant-based.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
once you know and you fully, that's
Yeah.
when that's the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
It becomes about reducing harm.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, exactly.
and that's when you don't slip.
Yeah.
But prior to that, if you're slipping, you're not really vegan.
yeah, yeah,
Like when people say, "Oh, they were
plant-based.
vegan," no, you weren't. You're
You're
plant-based.
yeah,
Because
I've
once
never
you're
met a
vegan, that's it.
yeah.
Like you're it.
I think one of the conversation that needs to happen a lot is, firstly, when are we going to be starting playing Mario? Secondly, is separating veganism from being plant-based, because a lot of people who just follow a plant-based diet are saying, oh yeah, I'm a vegan, but
No, you're
I
not.
had chicken the other week.
No,
It's
you're
like,
not
no.
a vegan. No.
A plant-based diet can still, you can still have animal products in it because you're predominantly plant-based. And it's
You're-
like, if we
you're
separate,
based
yeah,
with plants.
Yeah,
The
that's
rest
right.
of it is.
I think it goes deep. Honestly, I think you can eat a vegan diet, but if you haven't connected that it's about the ethics
Yeah.
and about,
No, that's a plant-based diet.
I still consider that a plant-based lifestyle, plant-based
Yeah.
diet. It's
Yeah.
just different, man.
I'm following.
It's what you said, like a vegan diet.
Mm.
It's not like it's an like
It's
no one
veganism's
can
an
eat a
ethical
vegan
thing.
diet.
Yeah, you're
It's
right.
a plant-based
So
diet.
Vegans eat a plant-based diet.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. Boom.
Boom, you just summed it up.
It's the only.
Hey, that's a show.
That's a wrap and scene.
Let's get Luigi.
It's the only ethical.
It's a philosophy. It's a way of life.
I'm trying to find this emulator.
What's an emulator?
So it's the console.
Oh,
but
and we can change
in
so
a-
that I can have
in
my
a program.
buttons that suit.
Yeah. Yep. So just bear with me, everyone. Well, while I get that sorted, tell us about Vegan Frothers. How'd that start? So if anyone here who's not aware, Simone started up a foundation called Vegan Frothers from, was it at the Gold Coast?
Yeah.
Gold
yeah,
Coast.
Gold Coast.
Yeah, cool.
So I don't know what year it was. I'd be guessing. Anyway, 6 years. I'm going to say 6 years ago. I'll have a look into it. Oh God, I don't know. I should know these. I should really know these answers. But a friend of mine, Blake, and I were out getting our third coffee for the day, and we were so off our faces. We were like screaming and going crazy out the car, and all kinds of weird stuff was going on, and we were just like yelling at each other. We were just having, you know, when you get those pumped conversations about what veganism does for you. We were just, we were just so energetic, and we just trained and surfed, and we'd just done all this crazy stuff. And he was like, "Oh, we're vegan frothers," and I was like, "What the fuck did you just say?"
We froth veganism.
We froth veganism.
Right.
So we just started losing our minds, and I was like, "Yeah, we're fucking surfing carrots," and he was just like, "Oh," and we were just, I don't know, we just got crazy, and then because I was wearing a Billabong singlet at the time. And I was like, yeah, fuck being a billboard for these people. Like, let's be a billboard for veganism. Like, let's just wear it, have hats, T-shirts, stickers like and we'll raise money for animal sanctuaries. So we just started doing it and printing on shirts. And then we were kind of a bit like, I ran businesses before, so I knew how to do that. But then when the money would come through for the clothing, I just would go, all of the money, and donate it to the sanctuaries without going, I actually need to keep some to keep buying.
Yeah.
So I kind of stuffed up a bit and, milked myself a bit. But it was really cool because I learned, like, you just got to do whatever you want. But key point, we just sold the clothing and then donated it to animal sanctuaries. And the 2 sanctuaries were Save a Cow and Sugarshine Farm Sanctuary down at Lismore. And the reason I say were is because over time, for the lack of me working on it, we haven't been selling merch and doing it. So, and I realized how much in debt we were with the brand. So I need to reconfigure it so I can actually donate to these sanctuaries, because we would just get all the money in and then just send it. Because I had seen a sign on the side of the road saying piglets, $80 each or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck? So I pulled in and there was 5 pigs there and I was like,
use that one.
Thank you. So yeah, I'd pulled in and seen these 5 pigs and I was like, oh, that's not me.
Now you press start.
Okay.
All right. And then
shit.
now it's the controls as you wanted them.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah, it feels weird.
She's used to the OG
Yeah,
one.
I'm used to the OG one.
She's an expert, man.
It's kind of like Hot Wings.
What's Hot Wings?
Oh shit!
It's
Yeah,
like
it
a
feels
TV
really weird.
show
It needs
on-
to be.
Oh,
That's-
that's on YouTube.
Maybe
yeah?
you're
Yeah.
right with
Yes.
maybe you're right with how it used to need to be. Maybe it needs
so
to be the other way.
yeah,
Oh, hang on. There's a life here somewhere.
The green one, it's about...
No, it's here. I know it's there.
What do you mean?
There.
yeah.
Anywho,
Mario.
what was I even ranting about?
We're talking about the donating to animal
oh yeah.
sanctuaries. And
No,
finding-
the pigs.
And then the pigs, yeah.
So I found these. I found this out at Springbrook when I was riding my bike. That sign with the pigs they were selling. They were selling the pigs, and when I went in there, they were like, it was sometime before, oh shit, get out of my way. Yeah, and I was just like, nah, no one's getting these pigs to eat them, because that's what they were obviously selling them for. So I ended up buying these pigs from this guy, and then ended up in my backyard, and I was like, holy fuck, I can't actually look after these. That was really bad. I should have probably kept this.
Yeah, I can change it up. Let me change it up. So now go controller, press.
Do people know what just happened just then? So the console, I don't know. It just isn't, the original console?
Yeah, it's a
Original
bit.
console.
Yeah.
Where you nearly break your
See,
finger.
I got those ones because they can play all the games on all the consoles. Instead of, if I were to have the original NES controller, it wouldn't be able to play Super Nintendo games.
Gotcha.
'cause it doesn't have enough
Okay.
things. So
Just hold it on an angle.
change the green one. Press the green one now.
Now?
Actually, press it now, and then press the red one, yellow one. Yep.
Okay.
So now, all right,
Now
now
we're
it should be
on.
fixed.
Cool, now we're on. Do you guys want to go?
No, you keep going.
No,
I'll just
keep
finish
till
this.
you die.
I'll finish this little
gonna keep.
story because this story is kind of important for
Yep.
So the pigs, I ended up with 5 pigs, and they're at Sugarshine Farm right now. And I was like, this is when I realized that a lot of people rescue animals, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But then they end up at these sanctuaries, and the sanctuaries just simply can't fund their lives. And so what needs to happen is, if animals are going to get saved via, whichever way, they need to be looked like. It's not, you don't just dump them off at a sanctuary and that's just it. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit, like these people need, money from, oh shit.
Is that better?
Oh, I don't know. It's just not used to it. So yeah, I felt responsible to,
See your fingers going.
I know. Yeah, I just felt responsible to pay for these pigs. And so that's why, and then we had Froth Fest, which was like, shit. Oh my God, this is so bad. Okay.
Froth Fest. What?
Yeah, Froth Fest, we just put on an event and raised money for the sanctuaries. And we just tried to do whatever we could at the time because, it's hard to raise funds for the sanctuaries. And people don't really have much awareness of how sanctuaries work.
Yeah.
Like they just think, they got bulk coin and they're just sitting around chilling with animals all day. Where they're just not.
Yeah, it's hard work.
They're simply not. I'm going to try and catch that.
Always getting volunteers through, and because I know Forever Farm up here, I've had a bit of dealings with them here, just sort of volunteering and whatnot. And yeah, they struggle all the time. I know there's a whole bunch of other. Oh, got him. I know there's a whole bunch of other.
See ya. That's you.
Awesome.
A whole bunch of other sanctuaries here in Adelaide. There's Freedom Hill.
Yeah.
I think there's another one, Little Farmer Sunshine. Is that
I've
SA?
not been there. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't get to sanctuaries very often.
Bye.
As often as I should.
It's actually really hard to talk and concentrate.
You just handed the controller to someone
You're an expert, eh?
You might be.
who grew up playing this.
Yeah. It's still weird with that control though.
Damn, you're
Oh,
fast.
shit.
Oh,
Bye.
Yeah, damn, you're Oh, damn.
I was like, you're fast, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Usually
She's an
I.
expert. Seriously.
Bye. No.
She knows all the nooks and crannies where all the money is.
All the money.
All the money. She knows how to get money out.
So, how old are you?
27.
27? No shit. How old do you think I am?
Now that you've said that, you're going to be 48.
Oh, whoa. Thank you.
Bye.
How
Nah,
old are you?
I'm less. Go tell.
You're either younger than I'm going to say or older, eh?
I'm younger than 40.
You're 35.
31.
31, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of close.
I'm a baby. I'm the
Oh
youngest.
shit! I remember this level.
I'm the youngest in my family. I've got one brother and two older sisters. One older brother and two older sisters. And my parents, they
shit.
stopped
Oh.
when they finally got it right. So they were like, you know what? We've tried 3 times. We'll try again. And then,
Something up here.
you know, that's how
Give
it
it-
works. Shit, I didn't even know that one.
I'm telling you, she's an expert, eh?
Yeah, you got this. Chris
Shit.
Konski. The big issue I see with rescues too, as a form of activism, it's
Oh,
great
shit.
if it's recorded in order for
Uh-oh.
people to connect to what happens to them, the conditions they're in and all that. But the logistics of doing heaps of rescues is difficult, and I don't think it's a sustainable form of activism. But it's also hard in that rescuing an animal is important for that animal.
True.
Yeah, I mean,
It
saving a
is.
life.
It really is. And do you know what? In animal sanctuaries, the reason why I found that was so important was because we would take people there and, you know, they would be around the animals and say they were a new vegan or they hadn't quite connected, you know, they were vegan because
Yeah.
it was cool or whatever. And then they literally hold these pigs or goats or whatever animal it was and they're like, holy shit, this just got way more real.
Yeah.
And then when you see, like when the people that know me online, they know I'm vegan. And then they see me because they know me and they've got a connection to me. And then now I'm
Yeah.
holding this live being and
Yeah.
they're like, holy shit.
yeah,
And then they're confronted with their stuff even more
Yeah.
so because you're holding. So whereas a complete stranger in a photo with an animal, they're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's a complete stranger with an animal, whatever, not connected. But when someone that you know or if they were to meet the animals themselves, like if non-vegans went to an animal sanctuary and had to connect or could get to connect with an animal, that's enough I believe to go, oh, how am I someone that contributes to killing these?
yeah,
So that's why I feel like animal sanctuaries are super important because some people don't have that, you know, they don't care. They think they don't care about animals, but the truth is they just haven't really connected with them. They haven't been around them. You know, you drive past a couple of cows in a paddock or whatever. Well,
Yeah.
go and look in their eyes.
True.
go see the
Go
sentience
actually,
behind them.
you know, be around them and see that they look at you and you can tell they have feelings.
Yeah,
So that's why I think animal sanctuaries are important because it's the way of connecting humans to them.
It's good. They almost need to do day trips to the abattoir, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
They need to do
That's
little day excursions to the abattoir. Because you can see them, like you can
Am I
You know,
reading
like-
this?
you can go
Nah.
to a sanctuary and see, oh, you know, this pig was saved or this was saved and that. And they're in a quite peaceful state usually. And if it's a well-run
Yeah.
sanctuary, you're like, oh, this is really beautiful. But if you're looking at an animal 5 minutes before it's going to die
yeah,
and you're looking at it and you're it's this communication that's happening between you
Yeah.
and the other animal. And it's fully, I remember having this vivid moment somewhere in the butt-fuck middle of nowhere in Croatia looking at this horse. And it was the most hectic moment with this horse, dude. I just remember the smell of its breath.
Ooh.
And it was fully aware in that moment that it was just about to get killed.
yeah,
Nothing was said, nothing. It was just a look in his eye, me receiving it, and I was like, this horse is fully aware that within 5 minutes it's going to be the end of his life. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks, bro.
Yeah.
And up until that point, I don't think I really fully fathomed it. You know, I had to actually fully see that to really understand what these animals go through, you know?
yeah,
And I think if I had just gone to seen happy animals on a farm and that who had been saved, it wouldn't hit the same. I guess there's watching footage, and then there's being in the presence of an animal who's going to die, and you being another animal. There's this communication that's non-verbal communication that's going on,
like her,
and it and it just hits you like a ton of
cute.
bricks, and there's no turning back once you see something like that.
Yeah, I know, and I felt the same thing. Like I went to the, you haven't died yet.
Is that the rules?
That's the rules if you die. Yeah, I felt the same. I went to the Adelaide Animal Save vigils here in Adelaide. I saw chickens and I saw pigs, and just what you see in their eyes and the fear and the pain and the suffering and the scars and the
Can't believe I just killed two ducks as I'm talking to you. I'm literally
They're
shooting
fake.
ducks.
They're fake ducks, so it's a vegan game.
Yeah, no, they're.
See that?
Oh, that was nice. You know the trick where you get up to the top and.
Oh yeah. I'll get the life and do that. I'm not a fool.
Yeah. You've played this before. Yeah, I know. All right, so I think
Collect some coins.
I wanted to talk to you about some of your achievements. This guy rode his push bike from the east coast of Australia to the west coast of Australia, and you smashed the fucking records, and you did the same thing in America. Tell us about that, man. How did it start?
It's just a badass, really.
Yeah, you got your fucking motivation and inspiration.
How did it start?
Listen to this.
Yeah, where did it start? I'm almost confused by it, bro. So, the long distance where it started was that one year I was in Melbourne. I was riding a bike at that point, but not really far. I had done a couple rides from Melbourne to Adelaide,
down here.
which was, 1,000 k's of that. It would take 3 days. So it really wasn't anything special. To us at the time, it was really special, me and my friends. I actually used to do it with Joey.
Right.
And then my friend was doing this bike race across Australia, from the west coast of Australia, from Fremantle to Sydney.
The Indie Pack.
Yeah, and I was filming at the time, making videos, and he was like saying that they had a crew who was going to come film it. And I was quite arrogant at the time, and I was like, yeah, whatever, mate, I'll film it better, And he was like, yeah, well, why don't you come do it? And I was like, well, that's a sick idea, but how would we possibly do that? It's from Fremantle to Sydney. And he was like, leave it with me, I'll find you a car, I'll find you some money to be able to do it, to make it happen, And so it started there. I went out and I filmed that race, and I had really no idea of, long distance cycling, cross country type cycling races. And that was my introduction into it formally. And I was filming these two guys at the top end of this bike race, the top two guys. We were planning to film the top two guys, my mate who was in it, and this other guy at the back. But it didn't end up working like that because the gap between the top two and the back two was so far. So we were filming these top two, and our goal was, all right, we'll get to Sydney filming these top two guys, and then we'll turn around and go get the other guys. Key point, along this whole journey, I was watching these guys ride 400, 500k a day, 20 hours a day cycling, 3 hours sleeping, 2 hours sleeping, 1 hour sleeping. And I remember just being there, just completely mind blown. I was obviously mind blown by their physical capabilities, but I was more mind blown by the way they carried themselves.
Yeah.
They were very calm. They were very... every time I interacted with one of these guys, they seemed normal. It was completely a mind fuck. They seemed completely normal. Yeah, right. And I was just thinking...
Stoicism.
I was thinking in my head, what do these guys got? I quite literally was like, I want what this guy has.
Yeah.
I want what this guy has. And I had done it before, so I knew...
That's right. Oh, yeah, this is two-player. Sorry.
I knew how much of an emotional mess I had been on long rides. So that really piqued my interest. At the end of that race, one of the guys who we were filming got hit by a car and died 2 days before. Yeah, so that was quite traumatic. But...
I heard about that. That's why the Indie Pack stopped.
Yeah, exactly. He got killed just outside of Canberra.
Yeah.
So that was my first introduction to it. Where it kicked off was one night he was eating ice cream at he was having this big buffet style meal in the middle of Western Australia, and obviously I like to eat. So his stoic fucking nature combined with the ice cream he was eating, I was thinking, you know what, bro, I got to try this. And I quite literally in my head said, I got to try this. And then it was one of those moments where I thought, oh my God, now I've said I got to try it. I'm actually going to have to do it. And so I signed up for it. And then the next year I came back and I did it. And basically what I did was I just copied what they were doing. And it worked out.
Wicked, man.
Yeah. And then it went on to that. And I went to America and did the same thing. And it's just been a bit of a journey like that since then.
Yeah, wicked. Because I remember watching, I think it was one of your videos on Instagram where you're sitting down, you're wearing a tradie shirt, like a bright orange.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you said something really inspirational, and I was like, "This is like some legit shit." Like, and I remember it didn't stick that much that I can quote it.
Yeah.
But it stuck enough that I remember that it was you.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What the fuck? Like, this guy fucking knows what he's talking about. This guy's a guy that you want to like fucking have in your corner and to help like." You know, you want to try and surround yourself by people who you can grow from.
Well, for me, man, the cycling was a way almost to help myself, because I knew what it took to be able to get the job done. I knew what skills you had to develop to be able to ride long distances by yourself in the middle of nowhere. And I thought those are the kind of skills that I want to have. And I had seen that those were the skills that would make me help me have a good life. Especially have a solid level of mental health.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what, I'm going to put myself in those positions where I'm forced to develop those skills.
Yep.
And that's what that cycling really gave me. That's what it really gave me, which has been invaluable for me. So obviously it's quite difficult, but what you come out of it with is quite profound, you know. So,
oh man, it's unbelievable. It's so inspirational, so worth taking on board as like a lifestyle to.
Yeah. I just think it was just so many contact hours. That type of cycling is so much. You have so much contact hours with yourself. You know, like if you think about your daily life, you might have X amount of hours where you're like away from people, or you don't have any stimulation other than just the natural environment. And doing something like that, where you spend hundreds of hours with yourself in the course of 2 or 3 weeks, it's almost like an accelerated course on that. You get
face off with yourself.
Yeah, you get to do a year's worth of facing off with yourself in. It's like entering a time capsule.
Like
you know what I mean?
Right now.
In
Same
2
thing.
Yeah,
like
2
right,
weeks.
this right here.
And that's really the great appeal of it.
Yeah, that's crazy. And that's personally something I struggle with, which is maintaining, routine and things that sustain me as like motivational, things to attain each day. Like sometimes I have trouble sort of just getting up out of bed because I don't really have much motivation and shit like that. But I'm trying to work on it. And I think, hanging around with people who pick you up and you can learn from and all that sort of shit, and using that as inspiration to try and fucking, make something of your life.
Just knowing you're not a tree and you just can keep changing yourself and growing, moving, shifting.
That's it, yeah. And man, that's fucking incredible. Like, we're sitting in the presence of fucking like royalty right now.
No.
This guy, man.
Everyone's royalty.
Everyone's royalty.
Legit, yeah. I mean, you've taken those extra steps that I think fucking if everyone did the same fucking thing, like the world would be a much better place, a much fitter place, a much healthier place, a much mentally healthier place.
Yeah. I think for me and the people in my life, and I know for Simone, it's a really well-being's a priority.
Yeah, for sure.
Having genuine well-being is a real priority, and it's just the overall, it is the main priority in life. It's the only meaningful pursuit in life is to have well-being.
Yeah.
And then everything comes from there, and genuine well-being. I'm not talking about wanking yourself while you're eating an ice cream, watching a fucking movie and being famous.
Bye.
I'm talking about something that's sustainable, and you just have mental clarity and health long term. Yeah. And then just orientating your life around that. And this great thing is these days we have so much information out there, so much knowledge, This is not like a new thing. Like people have been doing it for thousands of years.
Yeah.
This is like the only meaningful thing in life, and people have pursued it for thousands of years and gone, you know what, Nick, I've tried that and it doesn't work. So I can look at it and go, you know what, this guy tried being famous and he realized it was fucking meaningless and stupid and it made him only sad. So I'm like, all right, I can dispose of that. Let me try this. Let me try that. Let me try that. And I think that honestly, that's one of the greatest joys in life, is taking your own well-being into your own hands and then going out every day and just continuously working on it year to year.
Yeah.
And obviously recognizing that it's like an evolving process.
Yeah.
It's not like you just attain some level of God level status and Buddha status and it just ends. But it's just really fulfilling, you know what I mean? It's just really fulfilling to cultivate your own well-being from the inside out. Not something that you take from the world, something that you bring to the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Bro, that's profound shit right there.
Yeah, but I only know that because of other great people in the world. You know that. But then the thing is, I've learned that from other great people in the world, but then and the only way it's really penetrated me is through doing it.
Yeah.
Having the personal experience of it.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, man. That's how I think about
I'm
it.
pretty sure there's a beanstalk on this level
That's
that takes
incredible,
up to
man.
money.
Thanks for sharing that. That's it's good to get this shit out and get it on the fucking record, eh? Like, Shit Vegans, welcome to the Shit Vegan Show. That's where we are right now.
Whoa.
This is the Shit Vegan Show, and I'm trying to like say things in line with what a radio presenter would say and try and keep the flow going and shit like that. So I've been trying to practice my just talking and fucking not letting the conversation stop. So so you guys, we're all here in Adelaide right now. You guys are originally from interstate.
He's from here.
Oh, you grew up
I
here?
was born in Adelaide.
Yeah,
I
that's
grew up in
right.
Adelaide, yeah.
And you spent a lot of time in Melbourne.
Yeah, and then recently the Gold Coast.
Yep,
so-
cool. And you guys are a thing?
Yeah, she's...
Oh,
Yeah.
a
My
weird
partner.
thing.
He's a thing?
Yeah.
Here's my boyfriend.
I call it my spiritual wife. Essentially, it's a wife
Oh,
without all the
gosh.
bullshit.
Yeah, isn't that fucking what you
It's a
want?
bit of a joke, eh?
Yeah, it's fucking... There's a lot of different...
I don't identify as a.
yeah, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of things going on in the world right now as well. So you guys are here for how long?
About a
We
month.
don't have a.
We don't have a set date.
No,
We're
I
sort
like
of
to
taking
do
it
plans.
Yeah.
how we enjoy it.
I do want to do
wicked.
aerobics soon again though.
Yeah, that was fun. I was keeping up to
Are
date
you
with
coming
that.
to class?
Just come to class, man.
Where is it?
Wherever we want it to be.
Yeah, all right. I can promote it.
This guy's gonna attack my head.
Oh,
Do you know
shit.
if you squat, they can't get you?
Well, you
Did
just
you know that?
prove
Yeah,
that.
it's got this is a bit of freestyle.
So it's a bit of a download of life. If you squat, nothing can really get to you.
Bit of a download of life.
Squats are pretty.
You got to go to the
key,
gym. You got to
key
squat.
physical move. Hey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
It
shit.
just replicates the burden of life on your shoulders
Yeah.
and standing up.
You need to be able
Righto.
to squat heavy.
Yeah.
You need to be able to crush. You need to be able to get crushed and stand up with good form.
Oh man.
Well, yeah, true.
True,
I-
eh?
To be honest, I can barely walk right now because we went and
She's got
we went
phenomenal
to
squat form.
we went to the gym. We went to what's that gym that we went
She
to?
does, eh?
Whatever Dairy.
We went to
Daramits?
Dairy Marts in town, the new gym.
Oh, the lifting gym
Yeah, lifting.
Yeah.
where people go there to take their
and I
photos
squatted too many.
100%. There was actually chicks taking photos when we were there.
in the mirror with
Simone
their.
almost knocked her out.
I don't know. I mean,
I
do
get a
whatever
bit
you
tri-
want,
yeah.
but like, come on. There's a
There's
I
a
don't
time
really
and a
think
place.
that the gym is a
Yeah.
selfie place.
Yeah.
I don't
know.
know.
A bit
I'm
oblivious to their
maybe I'm
selfies.
old school. Maybe I don't really. I think selfies are. I don't know. Maybe I should get with the times, but
Yeah, I can't remember
What
the
are the
last time.
times? Just extreme levels of vanity.
I just think it's strange.
You don't wanna get
I
with
mean,
that.
I'm from the 80s. I was born in 81. So like, if we turned the, not that I'm saying you need to stay in old times, but like if you ever turned the camera around to face yourself, you were like, just I don't know. Not that you care about what others think, but it was a weird thing to do.
Well, I think we shouldn't. I agree with that, and I think that we shouldn't just change that.
Well, babe.
I think it should still be. Honestly, there's a time and a place where you flip the camera around, and it's not when you got to.
When you don't have anyone to take a photo for you.
I've been a fuckwit before. I've done it,
Yeah.
but I think hopefully I had the camera just going that way. You know what I mean? Like I didn't do the selfie thing, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I just ran off the cliff. I just committed suicide.
Do you want this one?
Nah, your turn. Oh, game over. You killed us, mate.
I'm sorry.
That's some non-vegan shit right there.
I got 3 lives because I've
You
been
got-
collecting that money.
Yeah.
Whee.
So I don't know about
Whoa.
selfies, bro.
Well, no, I don't know. Look, I when I see some people have nice selfies, like they take pictures of, like I think they look nice.
Yeah.
I like them. Like I literally double tap them. Well, bye. But you know, there's a point where
I'll
you go,
take it from
okay, there's how many selfies does one need?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can collect a photo of yourself and you go, wow, this is nice lighting and I look pretty good right now. Okay, get that. But then how many do you take? How many
Before you get the right angle.
And then what are you doing it for? Like what do you need to if you look good and you like the way you look, keep it for yourself. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's this
We live in such a fucking physical culture, you know what I mean? Where people's their main aspiration is to be a fucking hottie in a selfie.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. That's not a meaningful pursuit of well-being. That's just useless. It's absolutely useless.
Yeah. And
So
to gain followers and
yeah, like you may as well just shoot yourself. You're shooting yourself in the foot. I'm trying to say it nicely. You're shooting yourself in the foot and you're going back. That's a
getting
backwards way.
super attached.
yeah.
You know, so
Because you are going to age and your shit's going to change.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if that's who you think you are, because you look that way and that's all you get attached to,
Yeah,
shit's going to get pretty fucked
wait till you
up.
have pizza and you wake up the next day fat.
Mm-hmm.
You wake up a bit bloated. You'd be it's traumatizing.
Yeah.
Like we had pizza last night. I woke up I woke up chubby. I'm just kidding, but what I'm trying to say.
Then you went for a ride across Australia.
What I'm trying to say is like the basic fucking reality of valuing your physique as if it means who you are. You know what I mean? Like putting too much value on your physique and how temporary your physique is, and being tossed about by your physique as if it's something permanent, as if it's not changing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know how we got there. I think it was the selfies got us
how
there.
did we get there? I think I was.
Yeah. Yep. That's the beauty of the conversations, you know. All right, I got a question.
Okay, good.
What gets you out of bed in the morning?
What gets me out of bed? Honestly, bro, I don't actually. I don't think about what gets me out of bed in the morning. I just get up. I think there was a time there where I was super fucking thinking about what gets me out of bed, but then it's become semi-automatic.
It's pretty good that you're still breathing.
Yeah, I still. I definitely have days where
It's killing me.
I don't know how to say it, bro. I think now what really happens is I just get out of bed. It's routine. It's automatic. If I'm being 100% automatic, it's not like I get up and go, all right, 20 deep breaths through the nose. Let me think about this. Let me think about that. You just get up and the routine.
What's the alternative?
The routine's been there for so long. The routine's been there for so long that it's just there. You know what I mean? But I think initially, obviously there was a period of time where it might not have been like that. So I had to find, you know, what you're referring to, reasons to get out of bed, to establish that routine to where it could be long term. Yeah. And
I think it's a lot more simple.
I think it was just life. Just life is very exciting. It's a very exciting thing to be a part of. It's a big mystery. It's a big mind fuck. Do you know what I mean?
Do you ever play this?
I've never played this.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Yeah, sometimes because I was working for. Why is that not loaded up? I was working for, what was it? 11 plus years, and
job you didn't have to think about, you just went to.
I just went to, and that got me out of bed because it paid my, my mortgage and all that shit, and it became so easy and so mundane, and when I quit.
You had to think about what you wanted to do.
Yeah, when that left me, I had ideas. Obviously, for those of you who are following, I've dropped my story in the show a couple of times, where I quit my job, got a payout from work. I was like, all right, sweet. Now I can decide what I want to do. Obviously, I don't agree with a lot of the things that are happening in the world right now, and it's forcing me into an alternative way of living. That's sort of, I guess, under or outside society. And I guess you guys would understand.
Well, put differently, you're choosing not to participate in that sort of thing. So you're choosing a different way of going. Yeah. Which is, if you put that back into your language, like you're not being forced. You're choosing to take the power over your life. Yeah. You're going forward doing what you want. You're not sitting back saying, you know what, I'm still going to do this stuff. Just continue on. Not gonna think how I really feel about it. You've gone, actually, no, that's not for me. I'll find a different way. Yeah. So it's more powerful to go, I'm going to do this because I choose this over I've been kicked out or I've been forced to or whatever. Yes, they are doing ridiculous things, but out of the two, people are saying things right now all around the world. I've been forced to do this. I had to do that. No. You actually have choices, like you do. And you can change your whole existence. It's like, I think about that sort of thing. Yeah. Like if people have just developed habits in their life, so they do this job or they go here or they go there and they haven't actually thought about what they really want to do, that's really easy to get into the flow of just continual doing the same thing. But if you sat there and went, what do I actually want to do? It's kind of confronting because we're not taught to think what we want. We're taught to go, absolutely. Okay, this is success. It looks like this. This is how much. And you follow this thing. Whereas if you go, well, hang on, that's no.
Get married, have kids, buy a house, work until retirement, and then live in retirement. And and
sit there and go, I wish I had done something else.
And then just be completely depressed and then die.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, that's the setup for most people.
So the way I'm looking at things at the moment is I need a trade or a skill that I can use if society were to collapse. So because
Then
working,
you go, what trade do you want to do? Not
Yeah.
what do you need. What trade are you interested in the
Yeah.
most out of all the trades?
What do you really like? What do you really want to do?
yeah,
Well, how do you want to spend your time? You know.
yeah, that's it. So I signed up for electrotechnology course. So I want to become an electrician. So let's say if we're all communing somewhere, I can trade my
can do
value with the electrical stuff, computer stuff, all that sort of shit. Because
You probably already have a lot of skills that you don't
You
even
seem
know
passionate
about.
about it. I mean, looking at this setup, I mean,
yeah, I
This
think
setup is
it seems like you're passionate about electronics just by sitting here.
yeah. See that up the top there on that black up the very top in the left. There's that black box there. That's a little kit that's used to break open electronics, and there's proprietary like screwdriver sets in there that go into certain, like these ones are just knockoffs from China, but the Super Nintendo controllers, they have their own proprietary like driver sets, and they have all these different little ones to break into things like this to try and like so people can restore old technology and shit like that. And I really like the idea of that. You know, and electric sort of stuff, because I built my computer, I put all this shit together, I made all the cables nice and tidy, put all that shit together, and you know, focusing on shit vegans as well as, you know, moving towards, you know, electro technology sort of stuff, and then alternative forms of income. And yeah, so but you're right when you say we're not taught about the certain values that we need to instill in our younger generation to allow them to grow and be something that
they want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to become individuals, man.
Yeah.
They really need to fucking become fully fledged individuals that are fully pursuing their passions and aspirations.
Yeah.
And know that that's what life is. That's what life's about. And you can go out there in the world and you can monetize that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's, we're not really educating children on that. Really,
No.
in the true sense of education, there's no education.
No,
They're not
I
talking about
agree.
who they are. They're not talking about what's the point. They're not talking about where do they come. No one's addressing these fundamental life questions to these children.
Yep.
So they literally run around doing, you know, the run around the block in
Yep.
the same position, same sadness, same feelings.
I do believe we're at a
Year on,
time now,
year
though.
on, yeah.
Like now is the most I've ever seen homeschooling. Like there's that many groups that are gathering together homeschooling, you know, learning. Like there's a group down in Cabarita that I know, and he used to be a chiropractor, really smart dude. And he's just kicked off all these, like he's developed all these courses and things, and they all gather and they teach kids life skills.
Yeah.
And I think that we're at a time now where that's more and more and more, you know. Like I've never heard of that. If you heard of a kid homeschooled back in the 80s or 90s,
they're
you're like,
weird.
okay, that kid was weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, that kid is smart.
Oh, that's
It's
normal.
going to be really
You're the
smart.
top, and
top.
B is to go,
B's to go.
and obviously left and right.
Am I the girl? You made
Yep.
me the girl, didn't you?
Yeah. Peach.
Oh.
Yeah. So sorry, as you were.
Oh, so if you hit me, I lose my money.
The coins come out of you. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Like they come out of your butthole.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
But yeah.
education's taking a real
Boom.
forefront at the moment.
Who are you?
It's almost having a real rebirth. People are really seeing now in where society's at the damage that a poor education has done. It's actually been the reverse. It's actually made people more ignorant to the
Yeah.
truth, which
Yep.
it's meant to lead people out of ignorance into the truth.
Yep.
So they've done a complete flip on education. I learned very minimal at school.
Yep.
My mum worked very hard to send me to school to learn very minimal things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I could have been a fucking crack addict in a different situation. But still, I'm still continuously shocked by what I learned. I mean, I learned
What
basic...
you've now got to unlearn.
What I
Yeah,
got to unlearn,
for sure.
and basic reading, writing, and doing sums and equations. Okay, cool. But a lot of the shit was just completely useless.
Yeah.
What most kids are learning is how to fit in, how to
Yeah.
conform,
Gotta be
these
like everyone
days,
else.
yeah.
Don't
how
stand
to sit
out.
there with your teacher and go, yeah, I want to be a fucking dentist. It's like you're 15.
You don't know what you
You're
want.
15. You don't even have pubes yet. How do you know you
Yeah.
want to be a dentist?
Don't question authority either.
Yeah.
You know.
Just go to school for 8 hours and then think it's reasonable to go home and do 2 hours of homework.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
What a fucking scam.
See, one of the things that I was grateful, I guess, at the time.
Yeah.
My parents, my mum, she stopped me from doing homework because it's my time with
yeah,
my
it's
kids.
a waste of time.
That's beautiful.
And
My mum never got me to do homework either.
I thought that was beautiful at the time, but looking back, I'm thinking, what sort of, if I were to not have that and she made me do homework or whatever, that would have probably have instilled some sort of extra level of hard work in me. Because right now, I look back and think, fuck, I wish I had taken the time to actually do that shit because it would have given me a bit of an extra habit and a bit more, you know.
See, that's where
this is where I differ with you because I was a lazy fuck at school.
Yeah.
I used to piss out of my window, bro. I was so lazy.
Right.
I was
that's
horrifically lazy. And I think homework and school and all that is literally irrelevant to your. I don't think that just because you felt like you had poor work ethic at school means it doesn't mean.
And
much.
also too, there's this thing that I deeply believe that this conditioning of you need to work hard to get success. No, that is absolute bullshit. Like you should do whatever you want.
Yeah,
work
with
smarter,
your time,
not harder,
and then figure out a way to make it work for you. Like that. This whole notion that you have to work hard for money. Mate, good luck with that.
I think trust me, I've worked very hard for things before, and nothing has really eventuated. Yeah, and I think that when you are pursuing what you genuinely feel in your heart is your purpose and passion at that given time, that is moving into full alignment.
Do you see how hard I'm working right now and failing?
Yeah, you're moving into full alignment with life, and that's almost like when everything around you is going to organize itself to support you. It's going to organize itself to support you, and that's where we have synchronicities and all these things come in. But that's really when you move into a state of purpose and passion. That's really from your heart. The world will organize itself to that, and it becomes genuine, and it becomes
oh man, that's goosebump shit.
Yeah, because it becomes. There's whole concepts out there of effortless action where you're moving in flow with life, not in resistance to life. So
Downstream.
I think that's what we need to be educated in. That's what we need to be educated.
But if you're following what you really want to do in your life, like for example, a lot of people,
work's not even a reality at that point.
Yeah. Like if I said to you,
shit, vegans is your work.
Yeah.
Are you going to be like, bro, I'm just out here working hard?
If you look at how much time you put into it, if you look at how much time you put into making this happen, I dare say you never look at the clock. You're like, holy shit, it's 1 a.m. and I'm still doing this thing, but I don't want to stop. Yeah. That is when you know you're doing what you really are here to do. Yeah. Until you don't want to do it anymore. Yeah. And really, I'm really bad at this game.
And then you go,
Yeah, like, I mean, at the moment I'm doing this 80s aerobics thing, right? And it's probably sounds ridiculous to some, but it's in this point in my life, that's what I came here for, to dance around in a leotard and make other people have fun. Yeah. Like, will it make me millions? Probably not. Do I care? No.
Because it's fun.
It's
something
so
you want
much
to do.
Fun.
That's awesome. And that's, I agree. Like, I guess.
Money's fake anyway.
Analogous to that is, me doing this. You know, like,
same thing.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome.
Oh, you're finished and I'm still going.
Yeah, I'll get us through the next track.
You know what? I'm probably not having enough fun with her. That's why.
I can't believe you've never played Mario Kart Super Nintendo. Did you ever play this?
Look at me spinning out. I feel like I'm in a Gemini right now. Oh, look at her.
We got Chris Gonski. I think there's nuance to the discussion. People definitely need to learn hard work and work through the tough times because sometimes people don't know how to work past those difficult times. Even when you're doing shit you enjoy, there will always be barriers.
For sure.
Of course,
yeah.
Agreed. But it's when you're doing what you want to do. Yeah. Those hard times is where you get the juice because you keep pushing forward because you actually want to be there. Whereas if you're doing a job you hate, for people that are mean to you, blah, 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 you're like, this is not for me.
For a third of your life.
Yeah, but I don't look at that and go, wow, that's a really hardworking individual. That's something to aspire to.
No,
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to that. But
when
if
someone's
following
really
their passion, and obviously there's going to be roadblocks and things to overcome.
Totally, I agree.
And shit that you're going to have to overcome simply just to get the fucking lesson of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's almost like encoded into the system that you will have difficulty to teach you things.
Into the matrix.
It's like literally encoded into the system.
Totally.
That's the only way we really learn, or one of the ways we learn best is through trial, tribulation, difficulty. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But it's when it's in a meaningful pursuit, when it's on a meaningful pursuit, it's different.
Yeah.
It's like,
and that's when I can say, I fuck with that hard work.
Yeah.
I
agree.
You know?
But the notion that you have to work hard and hate it is like, no. Like, I think that's because people, maybe I should have said it differently. Like, people think that hard work that you're absolutely hating is just what you have to do. You know, people go, oh my God, I got to go to work today.
Yeah.
They're obviously dreading it. Yeah. But whereas like I use my aerobics for an example, like I love doing it. I want to do it.
Wicked.
And there are things that are super hard. Like I have classes where people don't show up and then I have to deal with myself and I go, is it me? And I have to learn stuff. And it's like, well, that's difficult. But that's where I get the juice. That's where I get the lessons. And I go, I'm still going to do this.
Yeah, you fall off the edge in this one.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Like, I still go, okay, like last week before we came here, I put on an aerobics class and no one showed up.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun dancing around a room on my own that I realized, shit, yeah, like
Who
whether
cares?
someone else shows up or not, this is what I'm doing. And that's when I realized I'm doing the right thing. It was hard though. Like it's a challenge, and it's that's hard for me. But you keep going because it's what you want to do. Whereas if I just didn't want to do it and I was working at a bar or a club or whatever, I'm like, oh my God, I have to go to work. This is hard.
Yeah.
To get my success, it's like, I don't know. I question that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. There's obviously nuances to the conversation, like Chris said. But
What does nuance mean? Sorry.
like there's little details and things that I don't even know the definition of
You
nuance.
get close where you're getting closer and closer to the truth. So
Okay.
I think that when it's in the context of a meaningful pursuit, hard work is obviously a part of it.
yeah.
And it's a good thing. And it's just a part of the path, you know what I mean? To get to the next stage. It's there, like encoded into it to make you better. But when it's hard work on an ignorant pursuit,
I
that's
agree with
getting
what
you,
he says.
That's getting you nowhere. That's when I'm like, I don't agree with it.
Look at what his last comment. I think we need to normalize failing because those lessons can teach us more than this. 100%.
I agree with that.
I can't agree with you
I
more.
personally, that's all
That's
I've ever
so true.
experienced. That, you know,
Because like technically having no one show up to an aerobics class is a mad fail, right?
in our minds, it's a fail.
But how is it a fail if you're dancing around a room to the music that you love and you're having so much fun? How is that a fail? And that's when you go, oh, that's where the juice is.
Yeah, that only came
Yeah.
about through failing.
And
Yeah.
then you try and make it better next time. You try and add to it. You try and create something new, work that works with you and works to try and grow what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And I feel the same way. Like I feel the same with Shit Vegans. Like I do it knowing that I'm not talking to anyone. And I'm just, welcome to the Shit Vegan show. What's going on? So it's the replay value as well.
Yeah.
And
it's cool that, that's the thing. The more you keep putting into it, like it's guaranteed. If you kept doing this for 5 years,
It would take off,
6,
man.
it's just a matter of how much you want it.
yeah.
It could take off in 2 months. It could take off in 2 years. It's just like everything's relevant to what you want.
Yeah.
And like, if you want to talk vibrationally, like if you're coming from a place of this is not going to work, but I'm going to put this work in anyway, well then you're going to take the actions based on not believing it's going to work.
Yeah.
And all of these, and this is what's great, when people are on meaningful pursuits from the heart, they all converge in this, and they converge on the same lessons. So Simone can be dancing around in a leotard. I can be fucking doing what I could be writing. Chris could be lifting weights. You could be doing Shit Vegans, and we can all come together and say, I remember when I learnt that.
Yeah, no
You know,
shit.
but when you're doing something you don't love and it's not from the heart and you're just doing it out of whatever, any other reason, it's not genuine, you don't get those same lessons.
Nah.
You don't get these lessons that are literally encoded in for your development. If it's really just human evolution. It makes sense that you'd have to find a purpose and go on it to learn these things to evolve. But in our conception of evolution, it's like, well, once you're past 25, you're done, bro. You're done.
Yeah.
You're actually toast. You're physically developed. There's no more mental development. There's no more spiritual development. Whatever you want to fucking call it. There's no more development. That's it. And you just go through. You do your 9 to 5. And then when you're 50, you probably die when you're 100, but you're old.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you're 50, you're done. You're old, but you're going to die when you're 100 and you're only 50% through.
Yeah.
It's a completely bizarre way of thinking.
Isn't it? Yeah. And I see, like, growing up, like I grew up in a small country town called Whyalla, and there wasn't really much going on there. And the only sort of job and place to work there was One Steel, which is the big steel mining facility over there. And, good work, heaps of money, but it's like, you just go on there making your money and pursuing something that's not meaningful. You fucking
What for?
Yeah, you're fucking the environment up, and all you got to show is, money in your bank account. Like,
Which is fake anyway.
yeah. And when we do things, that pick us up and motivate us and whatnot, you then have fucking awesome people sitting on your couch in your fucking lounge room talking shit on the Shit Vegan show.
Really, that's
You know what I
direct
mean?
feedback, though.
Yeah.
If I was
Yeah.
you, I'd be looking at that as direct feedback and think, fuck, man, that's cool. That's cool. Like, I put all that effort in, which I really enjoyed doing. And then now I'm starting to have guests I'm really enjoying.
Yeah,
and then that's
yeah.
direct feedback. And you go, oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. And then you just continue and continue. It becomes a snowball, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, man.
So you've obviously gone into creation mode with belief, which is why you're going to, and then you'll just keep on.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, imagine inviting someone to a party and you're already thinking they're not going to come, the way you're going to say it to them is going to be, look, I know you're probably busy and they've already got a way out. Whereas if you've come with like belief and it's the same thing. Like if you believe shit vegans is going to be a thing, which I believe it is, then you're going to speak about it in a way like it's a thing. And then everyone hearing that is going to be like, that's a thing. I want to be part of that thing.
Yeah.
Well, we're essentially what we're saying is like, not what we're saying, but you can see just from hearing what Simone was saying, is that belief has it manifests very practically.
Yeah.
It's not up in the sky. Because people try and just believe, dream, achieve, and they try and denounce that as if it's fake. When we're literally saying, like, if you don't believe when you invite Tom to the party, the way that it comes out of your mouth, your body language, the tone in which you say it repels the person you're inviting.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with shit vegans. It's the same thing when you ride your bike. Your belief manifests practically and it affects the subsequent actions.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you've got to believe. And what we were actually saying this morning, where it's like we were talking about, I don't know where we were in McGill somewhere on their bikes, and I was saying, I forgot what I was saying, but I was essentially saying nothing was wrong with you at the start when you have doubts. Like I used to doubt my riding. I used to doubt but that's part of the journey. But you have to have just enough belief. You just have to have just enough belief to start, to start. And then you go, oh, and then you get feedback. You go, oh, that worked out. And then you
feels
go,
great.
What happens if I just believe a little bit more and it works out again? And then your belief is manifesting, growing and growing and growing. And it's continuously getting more and more. But it's normal at the start. You just have to allow yourself to go, keep yourself open to going, I'll keep trying. I'm going to keep trying. And the belief is manifesting and manifesting. It's a really exciting process, you know what I mean? And just keeping yourself open to it. But it's normal at the start to have the doubt. But the command to yourself is, that's really when you're developing some thick fucking character, because it can feel like you're going nowhere. It can feel like everything's working against you, but you know deep down you're going, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. Yeah. And that's really where the juice is.
Yeah, the juice.
And quite simply, everyone around you, like say you tell someone that you want to do something.
Yeah.
And say if all the people around you are negative Nellies and they're like, oh, yeah, that's not going to work. Then you're going to keep going. And they're eventually going to give in on their disbelief because they're going to be around you and your belief. So then you keep doing it. You keep doing it. And eventually they go, well, he's still doing it. I better start believing. Yeah. And then they start believing. And then it grows out and out and out. It's like if you don't believe it yourself, then first of all, you're not going to try anything or even speak about it. But if you do believe in it, it doesn't matter who you're around or what they think, because they're going to have to be exposed to you and your belief and your actions and your words for long enough for them to jump on board, for it to just snowball.
Yeah.
It's all about not cutting it. See, all of these things are there as long as you don't cut yourself off by stopping. Yeah. As long as you don't stop, you don't cut yourself. Obviously, there's a time and place where you got to pull it up, right? Yeah. But especially when it comes to what you feel is meaningful, you just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Yep.
And I know I think, this is where we get those people say cliches like, you know, just keep going, don't stop, believe in yourself.
Keep swimming.
It's kind of like wrapping your phone in glad wrap and alfoil. It's it's an actual thing, bruh. Like it's an actual thing. Just sit. And I sometimes would say, it's actually that simple. But in application with the world, it can feel quite hard. Believe in yourself and keep applying your effort, skillful effort over time.
Yeah.
With skill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With fucking skill, key point, over extended periods of time. And it manifests and you can see it and it works out. And that can sound quite cliche and simple, but it's true. But then you say, all right, well, go do that.
Absolutely, man.
Go apply your skillful hard work, your kung fu over time and do it for 10 years and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think, those are some words to live by. I brought this up on the screen here. It's called Ikigai, right? Have you ever heard of this?
I've seen this.
Yeah, so it's
Japanese, yeah?
Yeah, it's a Japanese word for, I think, like meaning or something. So I've got the book somewhere. It's around here somewhere. But yeah, I've never read a book in my life. Never.
I was like that, bro. That was me 4 years ago.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, no shit. And
What was your first book?
Oh, I still haven't even read a book.
Oh, you need to.
But I own Sam Harris's Waking Up.
Yeah, cool.
And Ikigai, this one here. So it's not. This is the idea of it. So it's basically a way to find your meaning. So find something you love, something you're good at, and that's your passion. Find something you love that the world needs. That's your mission. Find something that the world needs that you can get paid for as your vocation.
Oof.
Find something you're good at and that you can get paid for as your profession.
That's juicy.
And then that's the Ikigai. So
I love that.
It's basically the way you can work it out is you write down, things you're good at, things the world needs, things you can be paid for, things you love, and then I think you narrow it down to the middle ones, and then you find it. So
Wow, I've never seen that before, but when you were just saying it, I was like, that's normal stuff.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, in my mind, because I've never worked for anyone else apart from myself, that all is very that's straightforward. But I can see how if you had worked a job
that's the map right there.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's a pretty amazing map, really, if you think about it. Someone can pick that up and go, all right, cool, I'll just spend half an hour and I'll go through that, and I'm like, you actually be able to get somewhere with that.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing, eh?
Yep, yeah. And I think, after this, I'm going to fucking sit down, I'm going to read that book.
I think for me personally, like that, life without meaning and purpose, you may as well shoot yourself in the head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really, quite literally. I'm quite sensitive to it. And I think a lot of people now these days are becoming really sensitive to it.
Thank God.
That they are not tolerating a life of meaninglessness and purposelessness.
Yeah.
And
because that is why
we're waking up.
Yeah, we're waking up to the fact that we're on a floating rock in the middle of space, not just by fucking chance. And it could be flat. We don't know. Well,
I'm not
have you been to
saying
space?
it's flat.
Have you been to
I'm
space?
just saying
I'm not
it's
blindly
not what they
accepting
told
what
us.
any motherfucker's told me.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about flat Earth, and I'm just saying in general. So I think people are really waking up to their true nature, and really exploring that, and really exploring what it means to be a human being and be embodied as a human being and be at the center of your own experience, and then unfathomably fucking thinking about the fact that there's 7 billion people having the same. It's no small thing. It is literally no small thing. It's mind blowing, and it makes me think. It makes me think of fucking Einstein, because I remember seeing this Einstein quote. I'm pretty sure it's Einstein, who was saying that the most incomprehensible thing about the universe is that people can comprehend it.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like, really, and that's what it becomes, because it's like you're in a fucking dream. You're walking around.
We're the sperm that
and
made
you're like,
you're
going like this, and you're like, oh my
True.
God, I'm me, and then there's Chris, and you're in your own little world. You feel like it's behind your eyes, and I'm that, and we're gonna leave.
You're having
it's
your
really
experience.
fucking
It's completely different to mine.
It's really true. And somehow we all just go
it.
out. We all just go out and just put our clothes on and just go, oh yeah, it's completely normal, bro. I'm completely we're all lying.
We're
in a constant state of lying to each other.
Saying it's all normal.
It's all normal. Don't worry about it. And I think now it's becoming. I think we're stepping into an age where it's becoming more normalized for people to go, oi, I'm sad as fuck. I'm lost as fuck. I'm trying to make my way home. I got no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Someone help me with
No
it,
one knows.
because it's getting too much. And I think the more everyone does that for each other and goes, look, this is, because I've only time what I've constantly experienced in my experience so far is that every time I share what's real and honest for me, the person I'm with is like oi, bro, I'm exactly the same. And then they say, oh, that's really what it's not. It's just sharing honestly what we're going through as human beings.
And it's the universal truth.
Yeah.
And we are conditioned away from it. And
because then we've got, like, if you look at that, take that a bit deeper, you've got people that are running around everywhere pretending that they all know exactly what they're doing. They've got it so together. Look at how I'm dressed. I've got it all planned out. I know exactly where I'm going, but deep down they're like, I have no fucking idea. I've fucked up multiple times. I'm sorry. I make mistakes every other day.
Yeah.
And as soon as someone says that to you, they almost want to hug. Like, you want to hug someone. As soon as they say to you, I fucked up. I made multiple weird decisions in my life, and I've done this and I've done that, and I'm fucking whatever. Yeah. Everyone's done that.
Yeah. Yeah. I've made mistakes.
Yeah.
That's what makes you a human. And anyone out there saying they haven't done those things,
it's not like
they're lying.
That's the whole endeavor of being human. It's not like you're come out your mum's fucking birth canal and there's a book of like, this is what the point is, and this is what you do, and this is like you come out of the birth canal, and it makes sense that you don't have all of this knowledge, and the journey is out of ignorance from darkness into the light. Yeah, that you come from lack of knowing to knowing, and you learn that through messing up. Through doing that, and then obviously, like what Simone was just saying is that you're coming from not knowing to knowing that you don't know much. You know what I mean? That's the unfortunate thing. When I started, I thought I was smarter before I read. And then I read a book and I was like, wow, I don't really know anything. Yeah, no shit. And then I read another book and I was like, oh my God. And then I read another book and another book and another book. And I'm like, oh my God, man. Yeah. There's so much out. There's a sea of knowledge out there that I have no idea about. But that's what makes it juicy, because then you get into a place where you go,
I want to learn more and more and more.
And literally life goes from being black and white.
You're okay.
What
that you
we're
don't
taught,
know.
it's black and white. That it's this is what it is, and this is what it is. And A plus B squared equals C squared.
Yeah.
You go from assuming that you know everything, which makes life very black and white,
To realizing
that you don't know
Yeah.
much, and that really the nature of
being
life.
okay with that.
If you could describe life in one thing, it's unknown. It's completely unknown.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
that really resaturates it. And then I'm going to take one step further, and that is like literally being at a magic show, watching a vision, and just going, "How the fuck is this all happening?" and that's when you become really sensitive to just daily life experience, and you can walk down the street and you can go, "I actually don't need to be wanking and eating a Mars bar at the same time." Breathing becomes enough because it's such a mystery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's such a fucking mystery. Instead of just walking around like, I know this, I know that, I know how this is happening. That's so boring. You know what I mean? It's so boring.
Yeah.
True. The more you know, he said, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know.
And
Back on the book topic,
All
just
I know
quickly.
is that I don't know.
You got to read,
nothing.
bro. I'm going to tell you right now. Reading has really.
What was your first book that you ever read? Ever?
The first book I looked at, like, I was that kid in school when they were like, "Oh, you need to do something on a book." I'd be like, "Harry Potter." It's Harry Potter.
Yeah, me too.
Or Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
If I could watch it,
Yeah.
I'm doing it, and they're like, "Oh, you just can't."
Yeah. So I'm probably about, I don't know, 30 pages from finishing Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Oh, that's awesome.
From year 7 though,
Oh, okay.
and I still haven't finished it.
That's okay.
So
That's
it's like,
cool.
That's as
How
far
old
as
did
I
you
got.
say you were? 30?
31.
I was not sleeping when I was younger, and I remember my mum had the book The Power of Now on the bookshelf.
Oh, Eckhart
Great.
Tolle.
And I
Yeah.
I had just
I mean, I know.
I had just opened a fucking couple pages, and I was really messed up, and I read a few pages, and that was the kind of start. And I was like, "Whoa, this is pretty cool." And
Power
then
of Now. Yeah.
Great book.
And then I put it down, and it was only probably like 3 or 4 years later, I thought to myself, I think it's time I read a book.
Yeah, no shit.
I really, you know what I mean? I was like, I think there's time I actually read a book. But I was really worried because at the time I was kind of puffed up in a sense that I felt like I was learning a lot from my own experience.
Yeah.
And I really felt genuine in the sense that what I was saying, I wasn't just regurgitating from others. And I was really kind of attached to that. And I didn't really want to open myself up to being influenced by other people.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really blocking me from reading books. Because I didn't want to be one of these regurgitators, or one of these rope like just reciters, and just to see.
Now
to
that
be
I've read this
fraud.
book, this is what my caption is today.
Yeah, to be a fraud. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be like that. But then one day I was just like, mate, what are you doing? Stop being so retarded and open a book and read. They're there for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then my life changed once I started reading majorly. It really
shit,
it opened up many doors for me reading.
Very interesting. Yeah, okay.
I read
and
The
just your
Happiness
focus.
Trap, first book.
Yeah.
There's a book by Russ Harris, and it's called The Happiness Trap. It's not like super deep or anything, but it's basically, people are trying to chase to be happy. It was the basics that I took away from it was that if you just accept that every emotion is there, then you're going to just have them. But if you're trying to chase happiness all the time, you don't get to be in each other emotion. Each emotion you can I don't want to say enjoy, but you can experience every emotion without suffering. And you take that away and you go, okay, I'm a bit sad right now, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling these feelings. I'm not going to say it's bad or good. It's just like, this is how I feel today, blah, 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 blah. And then you know that each moment it's going to change. But by trying to chase one emotion, it ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Well, that's because we have concepts of good and bad. We have these conceptual designations that don't actually exist, really. They exist in very few circumstances. Like if I shot your head off right now and someone said that's bad, I'm not going to be like, well, that's subjective.
Yeah,
You
no,
know what I mean?
no, that's right.
But we apply good and bad very loosely where they don't actually really, in my mind, exist. You know what I mean? So all of this judgment we apply on things is self-imposed.
Yeah.
It's all self-imposed. So when we say this is good, this is bad, that's going to make me like this, that's not right, it's all self-imposed judgment. Yeah. And I remember learning that through reading. I had experienced it, but also I had experienced it on the bike because I realized on the bike that if I didn't attach judgment to things, they had no weight on me. They had no weight on me. They existed nowhere except in my own mind.
Yeah.
They didn't. I was applying them to situations and then feeling the subsequent emotions of that labeling.
Yeah.
So I'd say, I'm in pain, this is bad. And then I'd be dealing with the fact that I thought this was a bad situation.
Yeah.
But the pain was just the pain.
Yeah.
I had imputed onto that it was bad, and that was causing me the suffering. It was 2 times suffering because there was the physical pain, which brings about a level of just, what you would call physical suffering. And then I was mentally suffering on top of it because I was calling it bad.
Yeah.
But once you peel it back and you remove that, things are what they are. They have no power over you other than the power you give them. You know?
Yep. Beautifully said. Very, This is
Juicy, isn't it?
this is what I wanted on the Shit Vegan show. Everyone's
You
here.
always get what you want.
That's stoic. That's a stoic
That's some
way.
stoicism
That's
shit.
literally a stoic way of viewing reality, is that things have no power over you other than the power that you would give it to them. But it's also very Buddhist in a way too. It's also it's multi-religious, multi-philosophy, is that this is where things really, they're just empty in themselves, and you're the one designating. We're always designating. And I think when you realize that you're the designator, generally, you are the designator in your life, because the basis of all your life is in your mind. You designate these things, and 90% of the time we're suffering from these designations.
Yeah.
I'm fat, that's bad. I'm skinny, it's good.
Yeah,
It's hot, it's good. It's cold, it's bad. I didn't perform well today, that's bad. X, Y, and Z. And it's just all these mental constructs that aren't even fucking real.
Yeah. Yeah. When I hit the streets, because I hit the streets a lot, like vegan activism and shit like that. And you mentioned basically the morality is subjective, right? A lot of people say, like, when they think they're going to get onto the philosophical chats, and I'm versed in some of the philosophies and arguments of a philosophical nature for veganism. And when I hit the streets and people say to me, I try to play around with it and be a bit sort of a shit vegan when it comes to, just a bit of banter, whatever, with the people. And they say to me sometimes, oh, morality is subjective. All right, turn around, bend over.
Let me rape you.
Let me stick my fist inside of you. And
It's subjective, man. What I think's good and bad, different to what you think's good and bad. Turn around, bend over.
Well, that's where I pull it up.
Yeah.
Because I do believe at the core of fucking reality that there is something called moral, and there's no subjectiveness to it.
Yeah,
Like
objective
taking
morality.
a life,
Yeah, for sure.
is not okay, and we would never accept that it's okay.
Yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
okay. And the reason, to take it even further, the fact that this is where it gets interesting for me, is because the reason why we're suffering collectively, we're in a fucking insane asylum, is because people aren't recognizing the fact also that at the core there is objective morality, and there is ethics.
Yeah.
And these are codes that we need to live by, because if we do not live by them, they destabilize your mind, and you literally will become
And
you
you're in
literally
pain.
will become mentally sick.
Yeah.
You will literally become mentally sick, and you will need a physician to help you.
I think so.
because you won't face off with yourself.
And that's why ethics is there, because that's why ethics is foundational, because it stabilizes your mind. It gives you a clear mind. You're not poisoning it with poor actions, poor speech, poor movement, of your body, like knocking you out, calling you a cunt.
Yeah.
If I sat here and said Nick's a cunt and knocked you out, those 2 actions are damaging my own mind. Regardless of the damage they do to you, they are afflicting my own mind, they're damaging them, and they're poisoning them.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
there's no way to have mental sanity with those actions.
Yeah.
That's
or
why
deep happiness, deep love.
Yeah, that's why we need to be educated. As I would have loved to have been I was educated by my mum, but I mean, from a societal level, outside of my own home, that ethics is foundational. Don't worry about all this faffing and fucking going out and onto the hill and meditating for 10 hours if you're involved in gossip, if you're involved in causing harm to others. If you're it's useless. It's taking all of that away.
Yeah.
I know we're going on a tangent, but I just think that
No, that's
for me, that's so
good.
important.
Yeah,
for me,
that's
that
great.
we've been talking about lately. I've just been saying to her, look,
You
man,
can't
I realize how
indulge in shit behavior and think you're going to find deep peace.
and meaning,
You can't. Whether it is veganism related, whether it's about how you treat other humans, about what, like the other day I went for a walk and we drove past this on this street where there was, this is off topic, but there's a canister that you pump your tires up with on the ground. And I walked past it and he'd pointed out, we'd seen it in the car. And I walked past it and I was like, really? You think you can walk past that? You think you can see it in the car, know that it's there. Now you're on foot. You think you can walk past that and be happy today? Not that I'm sure I could have found happiness that day. But I was like, that would have been on my mind. So I walked back down the hill, picked up the canister. I made a joke with myself because I was like, now how many more canisters am I going to see?
Yeah, so now
I
you gotta
did. I
pick them all
found
up.
5 others. I put them in the back of my pants. But the joy and the peace in myself from knowing that I made that choice to pick them up, to be that person.
How big are the canisters?
They're tiny.
Oh,
It's not, I mean,
NOS
they're-
canisters.
yeah, but it's like
Nossies.
you can pretend
Yeah.
that you're someone that, like I've done this behavior in the past where I've gone to beach cleans.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
yeah.
and you're that good person doing the beach
Take
cleans.
the photo.
What
But
happens when you're there
then
by
when
yourself?
you're on your own,
Yeah.
are you still able
and
to?
you're the one watching.
Yeah.
And that's the most important.
And you're the one judging. It's like on the way here we're talking about judgment. And it's like if you think you can do behaviors, whether it's gossip about others, eat pain and suffering and torture, like tortured animals, and you think you can talk your way around it and find some sort of, justification, you're wasting your life in a zone where you just need to hit it head on and find peace as soon as you can. What can you do better in each moment to another person, to an animal, to whatever your surroundings? What's the best option that I've got right now? Because veganism, in my opinion, is about what's the best I can do with where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing, is that her canisters on the hill, if we had a book, the chapter would be called Answering the Call.
Yeah.
Because it's true. We're called up constantly. Now, if you want to be a dog to yourself, you'll squash yourself. And if you think a lot of the times you're mentally burdened by how sophisticated the call up actually is.
Yeah,
because
for
it's
sure.
because we're not educated on how intelligent we are and the levels we hold ourselves to such a high level of standard, and because we don't understand that and the meaning our actions have in life, we can almost feel psychotic. Because you'll think to yourself, mate, why am I thinking about, Tom I yelled at when I was 10? And it's because it was a shit thing to do.
You didn't clean it up.
Yeah.
Clean it up.
You are calling yourself to such a high standard that you're like, that needs to be, if you can't actually clean it up by physically going and saying sorry to Tom, you fully need to understand and clear that in your own mind that that's not okay behavior. And until you recognize that and answer the calls,
it sits there.
You literally can't move on. And I think that's, for me, has been super inspiring to myself, is that it's not something you have to try and do or try and be. Our innate nature is very pure and always calling us up. And the only thing we have to do is pay attention, not fill our heads with all this meaningless shit that they're trying to shove into our fucking face, and answer the call. That's answer the call.
Answer the fucking call.
Answer the call. And you honestly, you're always getting called out. So you will call yourself out.
Shit.
Anytime
and then we
you feel
think,
shit.
oh my God, the world's no. You are judging.
Pick yourself up.
You are always calling yourself out on what you know is better.
No one else is judging. Like, that's this thing, like when you actually do as best as you can in all situations, like you choose not to gossip about others, you choose not to be shit, and your food choices, what you purchase.
I've learned that.
All that stuff. The way you walk out into society, you're assuming everyone's looking at you the way you look at you. So you're smiling at everyone.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking, I did that, you're assuming everyone hates you and everyone's judging you. So if you say things
projection.
like, you're judging me. No. You're assuming via their eyes the thoughts that you're having of yourself is coming back at you. So if you really are honest with yourself, you can walk anywhere in front of anyone, face off with anyone, because you know that you've not been the shit cunt. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Yeah. I resonate with that too. Yeah, absolutely.
I've
learned that.
Experience that on a day-to-day reality. Like, you can honestly, we could put you in a room and say, I want you to just be a bit more judgmental for a week of just everything you come into contact with in yourself, and you literally go out in the world and feel like all you see is just reflecting your judgment. The whole world's judging you. You're judging every single person.
Everyone
or you could
hates
sit
you.
there and be accepting of yourself for a week and really fully sit in that. You go out, you won't even have one thought of judging a person.
Yeah.
No. You'll look at everyone you look at, like, we go everywhere, and I literally can't believe how beautiful everyone is.
Yeah.
You look at complete random strangers.
Yeah.
And they're so,
I've had that same feeling before.
And I will dare say that in that moment, I could tell that it's only because of the beauty you've seen in yourself. You know what I mean? If you've spent time inspecting your own beauty and what makes it, not in a vain way, not in an empty way, in a really real way, in a real honest way, kind way, in a compassionate way to yourself. That's why compassion for yourself is primary. It births compassion for all other people and no other living beings on them. It's very hard to find someone who's really compassionate to all other beings and is an absolute shit person to themselves. If it's genuine. Like, we look at the Gandhis of the world, we look at the Dalai Lamas of the world. They would have, I dare say that the Dalai Lama would have an extremely high level of compassion for himself, where he's at, and where he's where he's at in life. And you look how that extends to every other living being. So...
Yeah, I agree. And here's an example of a time. It's a bit troll, it's a bit fun, it's a bit sort of on that same level, right? So at the vegan festival, I spent some time having a couple of beers with some friends, and there's been throughout the vegan movement and moving towards like vegan activism and things like that. There's been circumstances where some vegans disagree with a lot of the things that you do and that you say.
Right.
And
it's always going to happen. Don't need to hate though.
So what happened is these guys came up to me and they started talking shit about me to my face.
Oh.
And I was like, in the side of my head, I was like, I'm going to get up and I'm going to knock this guy out. But then I was like, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get my phone out and I'm just going to record it. And I'm just going to
let them do what
they're doing. And that's an example of where my focus shifted to more of a peaceful way of looking at it. Now, these guys, they humiliated themselves, and I've offered them to come onto the show, and I've offered them to talk to me about all this sort of stuff.
That would be great.
So we can have our differences out. But
you're offering them a moment to clear that in themselves.
They'd feel so much much peace.
Yeah.
Just measuring success by the amount of haters you have.
Why do they not like you?
Well, so I'm saying, come on the show.
The Shit Vegan Show. You're welcome.
What's wrong?
Do you know them?
Yeah. So
Oh, you did well, bro, honestly. You're lucky you didn't slap her.
Why did she not like you?
So in the past, right, we've had dealings online where where she would make I would make an assertion with my Facebook post, because I use predominantly Facebook to do my activism. And I've been doing it so long now that I have found like a sort of a way of doing it that really explains really clearly what I'm trying to say, because I don't want there to be any room for the conversation to derail. And back in the day, she'd come onto my posts and try and put other assertions on that I would take logically to their conclusions and feed it back to her, and she just didn't like that.
We have an example?
No, it's going back a long time, but that's
just you had differences in how to be a vegan activist
with her mates.
Yeah.
Is it she wanted you to be a different kind of vegan activist?
Pretty much.
Okay.
So she's a vegan.
Yeah, they're all vegans. Yeah, this
You're
at the vegan
kidding
festival.
me.
Yeah,
Keep playing. I need to see this.
yeah, all vegans. Yeah.
That's
So
horrific.
is it what kind of?
This is because it's so cringe. I think it's quite cringe, like really. Because it's quite cringe. I think
And we're just like, what's going on here?
What's he saying to you?
Calling me a cunt to my face.
Why though?
See, bro, that's a moment where the amount of damage he just inflicted on himself is enough.
it's a bit longer.
Because he inflicted none on me.
That's a redundant argument.
Something about being vegan for longer?
Yeah.
He's lucky, man. He's lucky you didn't knock him out. See, people are toying. They're just toying around with other humans' lives, eh?
Yeah.
Look at him.
And this happened November, 1st of November. Well,
What did he say then?
just calling me a fuckhead and just shit like that.
He's power tripping because he knows you're not going to do anything.
I don't understand.
You've never cared about animals.
Oh.
The only thing you care about is your fucking ego.
You can tell you're keeping.
Well, every
it sane,
human
eh?
does
You
care
look
about
like
their
you're
ego.
like on the edge, like
That's
those eyes, eh?
to a point. But can we talk about ego for a second? So
Yeah.
if their ego,
He
if
wouldn't
that's
have
what
done
they're
that.
worried about, if they're not concerning themselves with their own egos and how you want to live your life,
And shit vegans.
I don't know. I don't understand.
Okay,
Maybe
put
I'm
it this way:
different
he's
world.
pulling up on you,
Yeah.
saying it's all about your ego, and then look at his behaviour as if it's egoless.
Yeah.
You're telling me that behaviour he was doing right then is egoless? Like,
Yeah,
it's
hey.
not he could have sat down with you and said, "Hey, bro, let's have a conversation."
Yeah.
Without all the Hollywood acting.
And I always
without all the
invite
Hollywood
people to do
acting. He could have said, "Oh, Nick, I know we've had differences in that. I want to drop my ego and instead of staring you off like he's a villain in some fucking 007 movie."
Mm-hmm.
And then he could have just sat down with you instead of trying to belittle you and make you feel small and trying to look tough in front of his friends, in front of that chick. What? There's just no point.
I don't know and it's hard without knowing like
Yeah,
what's the
So we had no sort of dealings for probably over a year, maybe over a year and a half. I've had them blocked on my social media for a long time because I just don't want to deal with any of that. Like, it's just negative shit that I don't really care about. I'm in my lane.
But
You
it's
stick to your
differences in
lane.
an opinion of how you should be a vegan activist. Is that it?
Yeah, pretty much. And just some things that I say that they disagree with. Like, I think everyone should be held to the same standards, regardless of your socioeconomic status and things like that. And, you know, then people come out and say, oh, that means that you're racist. I'm like, no, I'm not. I just hold people to the same standards. You know, like, to me, when people call me a racist for not being able to hold people to the same standards, it's a subconscious judgment that they're putting on those people because they're saying...
I don't know. Where does
They're
racism
beneath
come
them.
into
Exactly.
Yeah, they're saying that they're beneath them, so they don't have to hold themselves to our standard because they're lower than us.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that what
right.
trying,
that's
is that where
the
they're going
bigotry
with?
of low expectations. That's what it's referred to as.
They don't. Why would you hold them to a high expectation? They shouldn't need to. They're less than us. They're
It's
exactly
like
you,
babying.
bruh.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. And, you know, if anything, I'm giving them...
You're saying they're equal.
Yeah.
You're saying we're equal.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, that conversation couldn't really continue because I got the labels thrown on me, like trying to cancel me and shit like that, you know. And I was like, you know what, fucking block, put away, whatever. And then...
That means, you know, you're gaining some momentum if people
Well,
trying to cancel you.
This is synchronicities. This is good.
Well, yeah, at the start, you know what I said?
Just measuring its success by the amount of hate.
Oh, yeah, I heard that bit.
I like that.
I think that, like, back on what we were talking about before, if you have genuine peace and love in your own inner being, you don't really have it. You have the ability to go, oh, they do them, I do me, and I'm not about to go and call people names. But if you have a deep trauma, something going on, you can do that behavior. Like, I can see how people get to that behavior. That's got nothing to do with you. You know that saying people say, oh, it's got nothing to do with me. They're just doing that. I never really understood that until I got mad treatment of it was just self-reflection of where people are at.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And I used to say that to myself in hope to find that it's not my fault that people treat. But really, that whole fiasco had actually nothing to do with you.
Yeah, no, I
It's
agree.
just meeting you where
and I
he's
could see
at.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
glad you
treating
know
relative
that.
to how he treats himself.
Yeah, and I wasn't lowering myself to that.
I hope they come on the show and, like, you're
I
able
hope
to
so.
talk. Because imagine if
yeah.
you could just have a conversation. If they sat here and went, look, these are my thoughts and this is how I think activism should be done, or whatever the conversation. And then you say, okay, there's room for that too. And I do it this way and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And you have your discussion and then it becomes interesting because you're able to sit in the same room without calling names. Like,
Name calling is pretty terrible.
No, I agree. Yeah, and there was a time in my, my sort of, I'll go as far as to calling someone an idiot, but that's only if the conversation has gotten to the point where I've got enough evidence to back that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I say, well, dude, you're an idiot because what you're saying is
not
wrong.
making sense.
But usually I'd say what you're saying is idiotic, not calling them an idiot per se.
Yeah.
And, I've sort of found the psychology and way of doing it, but the context of this happened prior to this. I was sitting down having beers and I noticed that she was sort of standing there watching the karaoke, and, I was like, I wonder if she's coming over here to sort of get my attention and to, maybe have a conversation. And I was like, I was open to that. And so I got a card out of my pocket and I was like, hey, have you heard of Shit Vegans? What do you think? And maybe I can have you on the show and we can talk or whatever. And then she grabbed it and threw it on the ground and stood on it. And I was like, well, that's when I know that, it's
this
animosity.
ain't going anywhere good.
And then I was like, all right, whatever. So then back to what I was doing. And then, because I only had like one beer, just sitting down and whatnot. And they were drinking all day. So I knew that they were drunk and whatnot. Alcohol does some things and I allowed for that. But yeah, then I just, you know what? I just got my phone out. There it is. And
has there been any more contact? Like,
no. So I unblocked them and then shared this to Facebook.
So they could see it.
So they could see it. And I was like, guys, like, I'll have you on the show anytime because
it'd be really good if they came on. Like in the vegan movement, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's doing what or whatever.
Good for you.
But I do know that there's always stuff. As soon as something gains enough momentum, there's always going to be infighting and stuff, which is it's kind of a positive, but it's also, I think that ultimately if everyone can just go, oh, just because I do it this way, like my vegan activism is a way that I'm sure some people will look at and say, oh, it's not whatever, but it's my way. And
that's exactly it.
I've reached, like, a lot of people, like Freely, for example, a lot of people have said, oh, that's not the way and whatever, it's too aggressive. Well, do you know what? She actually helped
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
like me. My way is different to hers, and now I'll do it my way. And but the way you do it,
Yep.
doesn't have to be the way you receive it.
Yep. Everyone has
Everyone
their
has a
own
way.
job.
We
Yeah.
should be trying to conform everyone
To a
to
way.
fit the same mold
Yeah.
of how to deliver.
Yeah.
There's millions of people out there with millions of different personalities and temperaments and whatever, and they receive it differently. So someone will receive a bit of an angry tone more than someone a peaceful, more peaceful.
Some people need
Some
that
people need
confrontation.
shock
Yeah,
therapy.
yeah,
Some
for
people
sure.
literally
Yep,
need
that's
to be
what I
like,
needed.
you are.
Same.
And I advocate that way.
Yeah,
Mm.
and that's and like I might say I wouldn't do that, but
I'm
there's going to
pretty
be
blunt.
people
Yeah.
out there that receive that. To say that there isn't and that we should conform it is to literally say that as if like there's not individuals out there. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
everyone's the same, and you're saying
Yeah.
like, well, it works for me this way.
Absolutely.
So that's
what
the
has to
only
work
way.
for everyone.
Yeah,
It's
no.
like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, for
that's-
sure.
Yeah.
Everyone's different. They're going to receive the message in a million different ways, and it's actually great that we have it's
All
part
the
of
different
human,
variants.
It's
Yeah.
part of the human mystery
All the
that we have
different
all these
variants.
different
Yeah.
variants,
It's true.
real variants.
Like, look at all the
media
different
control.
ones. You've got the Joeys, you've got the James Aspies, you've
Yeah.
got the Freeleys, you've got the
Like the Earthling Ed.
You've
and
got all
different.
these
Yeah.
different
Yep.
ways. It's
We have
like we
people-
actually need all of them.
Yeah.
For
We
sure,
need,
yeah.
And then upon that, we need millions of different ones. Like
Yeah.
we need the low key, super weird stuff. Like
Yeah,
we need
yeah, yeah.
all the stuff.
We need
Yep.
the gamers, the athletes, the
Yep.
intellectuals, the
We need
everyone.
everything.
People who
Yep.
can package it in a sophisticated argument.
Yeah.
People who can just say it like, oi, that's wrong.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
need
People can just say
we
you're-
need the Joeys, we need the ex-criminals, we need the people on the ground, we need people who can relate, we need it's so
we need
Yeah,
the
for
mums
sure.
and dads. We
literally
need the
need
fat. We need the skinny. We need.
everyone.
Absolutely.
You need everyone. So I think it's great. The worst thing I think would be for the movement is if people try and
Criticize.
or not just like I think some criticism can help it grow.
Yeah,
but
sure. Yeah.
I mean, like try and conform the way the message is put out.
Yeah,
Try
for
and make
sure.
it
Yeah,
really
yeah.
Try and govern it.
uniform
Get on
and
the
then
same
try and
page.
govern it and get on the same page because it's
Try
going to
and
limit that.
Anastasia
It's
it.
going to limit that.
Yeah.
Like
Hey.
it's just going to limit the way it's received by people. 'cause
Yeah.
everyone's different. You
No,
know?
I agree. And one of the things that I like, say there's, each town and city has their own Facebook group. Like there's the Adelaide Vegans page, there's the Perth Vegans, there's the Melbourne Vegans, all this sort of shit. And it tends to, like, the way I look at it in there is it's a bit of an echo chamber. A lot of people are just, vegan for the label and shit like that. But when someone posts something to do with activism and, trying to say, hey guys, we should become more active, we should start trying to encourage more vegans to be active. And they tend to, it's like having a conversation with a non-vegan. It's like you get vegan and then the vegan activists try to get the vegans to go active. And it's like the same, resistance.
Can I add to that? Like the danger in that, I think there's a big place for that. I think it's
Yeah.
super important to get the vegans active. But the danger in that is if the person that's saying to the other vegan, you need to be more active, might be coming from a place of you need to do things the way I do things.
Yeah,
Sure, yeah.
You've got to go, what are they actually doing? You don't know the
Agree.
conversations they're
Agree.
having. You don't know the mum at the
Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
tuck shop that
Yeah.
they're
Impact.
talking about and giving recipes
Yeah.
to. No one knows shit about what a vegan's really doing. So when
Yeah.
someone, I've had that being said to me, like, oh, you need to get more active. Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the minute
no.
I wake up to the minute I go to
Agree.
sleep, do
Yeah.
you know what I'm fucking doing?
And what I'm thinking about.
When I'm
yep.
speaking to literally the person behind me at the supermarket and saying, hey, have you tried this?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no
yeah,
one
yeah.
knows that.
Yep, I know.
I
You
think
know,
that's
so it's
key.
like you got to really, these people that are trying to get these vegans more active
Yep.
and activists, you don't know what they're doing.
No, I agree. And when I say that, I say you could be a hairdresser, you could be having a conversation with your clients, you could be, you could go into the toilet and share
Yeah,
something on Facebook.
totally.
Like, we can literally be vegan activists from the toilet.
Totally.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it should be. You should be more active in your own way.
Yeah.
In the way that suits you. And
Yeah.
suits
Sharing
you.
who you
Yeah.
are and what you
Yeah.
believe.
Whatever
I think-
works well for you.
Yeah, I think just realize the fact that veganism is a very serious thing,
Yeah.
and that
And a joke.
it's
Yeah.
not something to be taken lightly,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
And real vegans
and
aren't
and
thinking
empower-
anything opposing.
and go about in a way, live your life in a way that demonstrates that and shows people
Yeah.
the real way of veganism.
Yeah,
you know what
fucking
I mean?
A. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
It
it's
allows
not,
you.
don't you have to do it this way. Do it your way. Take it seriously and just do it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
Like
And-
for my way, like I personally am really inspired by lead by example type.
Yeah. Yep.
More than I enjoy when I see someone, a vegan doing activism who's just super sophisticated in his argument and has taken the time to understand the logic behind it. I really
Yeah.
resonate with that. But I also resonate with someone who sits there and just goes, it's outright fucking wrong. And he might be a great athlete. I resonate with both of them.
Yeah.
Whereas some people might be either or. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get you. I feel you. And like, I think everyone has their own place. And I think a lot of people also like say, I get that there are a lot of vegans out there or activists out there that would say, you know, my way's the best way. And it's like, then I'd go up to them and be like, well, prove it. Yeah. What evidence have you got to suggest that it works the better way? And, you know, I even hold that downwards. People because if someone comments, like say, if I make a post trying to rally vegans to be active in whatever way they can, whether it, you know, be like a hairdresser or in the shops or do this, that, whatever, or share something on Facebook, lead by example, whatever. And then they still come back with criticism and say, look, I didn't want to see that. Or like, it's like they're jumping in there and talking about themselves only because
implying that other people still need to see that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'd respond to them. I sort of bat them down and say, stay in your own lane.
I'm doing me.
Yeah, I'm doing me. And this is to try and get others to do what they want to do and encourage them to
do their way,
do their way and all that sort of shit. And I'd say, well, you know, if I'm not doing it the right way, what's the best way?
Yeah.
What's your way?
There is no best way.
And here's the kicker to all of the conversation is that who honestly gives a fuck?
Yeah.
In light of what's going on, why are you getting so bogged down with individual differences that are a part of fucking life? Like, you're in it for the animals.
Yeah.
You're in it to end animal slaughter and the killings of trillions of animals a year. So why are you wasting your time worrying about what Nick is doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The priority
exactly.
is the animals and reducing the suffering
and
for the
if you
animals.
don't like what you're doing, go do something else.
And the point is, in a really blunt way, in the nicest way you can say is, there's no time to to put the mess to suit your feelings. You know what I mean? It's because you're not attacking anyone with what you put out there. But if someone receives that and perceives that their feelings are hurt or you're judging them or doing that, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't expect people to conform. I don't expect people to go out in the world and conform everything they do in the way they speak to not hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to these massive issues where it's like, we don't have time for your feelings at the moment. Well, obviously we respect everyone's, you know what I mean? Like, we respect everyone's feelings. I'm not saying I don't respect them. I don't want anyone to suffer or be upset.
Doesn't mean you're going to alter who you are.
You're not going to walk on your tiptoes not to upset someone when it's like, stop making it about you, man. It's not about you.
Yeah.
Can I say something this is kind of to every vegan, and I wish that this was said to me years ago. Like, I used to be very desperate and want everyone to, you know, go vegan and do all this.
Yeah.
I was so desperate. But I think, I don't want to say like now that I'm older, because it's not about being older. It's just now that I've had time to think about it, it's like I want every vegan to kind of know that if someone is a vegan, this is for the topic of trying to get a vegan to become a vegan activist. If someone's a vegan, just know from the moment that if you're a vegan, I'm not talking about plant-based, from the moment they wake up to the moment they fall asleep, they're doing something, and it doesn't have to look like holding a TV in a city or doing interview. It doesn't have to look a certain way. Just know that every interaction they're doing, just being an alive human, breathing air, thriving, happy, or not, whatever, just being a human that you can resonate with on any level, that is a form. And just know that from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep, they're actually doing whatever they can. Because if you're a vegan, you're trying to get people to see it how you see it.
Yeah, for sure.
And just because you don't see it to be your way or the right way or the best way or whatever, like my way, I know people have thought is not the way. But do you know what? I happen to know that I've actually helped a lot of people go vegan.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know that now.
That's awesome. Yep.
And it didn't look like Freely's way or Joey's way. It didn't look those ways. I know I've done those things in the past, but my way is different, and there's a place for it. And I think that as a vegan, if you can have some peace in your heart and know that, don't worry, every vegan is actually trying. Just try to hold that in your heart and go, okay, I may not want to,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
but
for sure.
we're
Yeah.
all trying. We're all out here really trying. So if that can give some bit of something, I
Honestly,
hope.
man, it's honestly just, I think memo is just do your activism the way you want to do it and stop getting caught up in how other people do it. If you're caught up in that, cool, just don't do what you don't like seeing. You know what I mean? Like if you don't like the way they do it, then go, I don't personally like the way they're doing it, so I'll make sure I like the way I do it.
Yeah.
Don't just be a couch sitting typer.
Yeah,
For your own benefit. For your own benefit. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
See it as in, I'm a bit triggered by Nick. Well, maybe I need to address the way I'm doing activism and really use that trigger to go, how do I really want to present veganism to the world? And use it as a catalyst for that. Instead of wasting, it's a complete waste of time.
And energy.
It's a complete waste of time and energy to be in the echo chamber of veganism, critiquing each other.
Mm-hmm.
Really, just critiquing each other. I think it's useless. Not useless, like I said before. It can have benefit. But I just think if you can use it as a tool to refine your own way of presenting veganism to the world, it's a beneficial thing. You know?
I got a question. Do we need more humans on the planet?
I think,
Ooh, there it is.
It's a hard one. It's a hard one, you know what I mean? Because when we talk about education and these things before, we do need, I would like to see just fresh humans, fresh out of the birth canal, educated in these matters. And
I remember you saying the other day, if you could go back and restart again with, what was it, with some things that you knew or what was it? I remember you saying.
Like, I would like to see what benefit that would have on the world. And
right.
For new human, to see what that has impact on the world. And then also, I also think like, I don't know how deep-seated it goes. Like,
I actually don't know the answer.
I don't know the answer. We're speculating.
The theory of like we're overpopulating, we're ruining the planet, blah, blah, all that.
Yeah, it's like antinatalism. Like, have you heard of that term?
No, but I do believe that the way people live with the, the way of majority of people eating meat and damaging all that stuff. Yes, no, that has to go.
I think that's the first thing to address.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
more important to address than let's wipe out the population.
Because then we'll just have another population to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So we need to get to the root of it. The root of it isn't it that we're rooting too much?
Yeah.
Which we probably are anyway.
Yeah, I reckon, yeah.
But we need to go, if we do root, how are we going to educate our offspring?
Yeah, for sure.
That's the real, because that's the root of the cause. I know I said root about 4 times. But that's really where it's coming from. They're uneducated about what life is and ways of conduct that are conducive to a happy, healthy planet and people. You know what I mean? So I think we need to just address that, like you just said. How are we living?
Yeah.
Because people can either damage this place at a mass scale really quickly, or if we have consciousness at a different level, what could we do better?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure we could really do a lot better.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether, because if you look at the land mass that we live on, there is a lot of space. If it was to be spread out differently and things change. But as far as your question was, do we need more people on this planet? I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
For example,
there's lots of grey area.
We don't know, because now we're going to start talking about like, okay, could we just educate who's here currently and see what effect that has? Or are they so entrenched in their habits that we need a fresh new generation to learn these things from the ground up?
Yep.
But I think it still comes back to, without the proper education,
yeah.
more or less people's irrelevant, because they're just going to, well, I guess if they're not educated, then it's like, look, whoever's here is going to do a lot of damage. So we need to really reduce the population, because once it goes over 3 billion, once it goes over 4 billion, that's the critical mass point where it just gets destroyed. So we keep a whole bunch of ignorant, uneducated people who are just in a state of destruction. Well, you can only have 3 billion. But if everyone's educated and making a difference and really living in a sustainable manner, for the globe at least, then it's like, well, we can run it a bit higher.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the mechanics of it like that. So I just think for me, it's not even something I think about, because I think like, look, if I had a kid, I would just try and do my best to educate it in what I think is most important.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
The problem with I've had a lot of conversations over the years with vegans, and I used to have the same opinion of no one should have kids and no kids, whatever.
We changed, don't we?
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not saying I haven't, I'm not saying anything about that. All I'm saying is, okay, well, that's cool. However, all the vegans I speak to that have decided to either have vasectomies or not have children, you're actually the people that we do need breeding.
Yeah. I think
And the
so.
ones that are breeding,
Yeah.
I'm not saying they shouldn't be, but they need the help of people to be shown a way.
Mhm.
You can have children and in this ethical
Yeah.
way. So it's like, okay, so as a vegan, knowing that you're doing this damage and destruction, whatever, okay, that's it now. But then if you really cared about, if you, what I'm saying here is if people make the choice because of environmental and whatever, it's like, okay, if you really care, then if you're going to really go that far, then to try to do something in the avenues of helping people that have had children and do something with that.
Yeah.
Rather than, there's a lot of hate on people that are procreating. Like I literally watch people, the vegan couples have children, and I see hate comments about the fact that they brought a baby into I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I know.
Where are you at?
I know. Yeah, see, a lot of if I were to, because I've heard good arguments for antinatalism and arguments for natalism. So antinatalism is the term for the position you hold when you don't want more humans to be bred into existence. But I think I'm natalist because like humans can be educated and
change can happen.
And change can happen. Yeah. So if I were to have a child, I'm not ready to have a child yet because I've got a lot of things I need to work on within myself to be able to be a father to a child.
Therefore, you're someone that probably should if you have that attitude because you're not willing to place yourself into
you understand the great
you get it.
responsibility of bringing someone into the world.
Yeah, and the reason I do feel that the responsibility is because I've had an experience in the past that's changed my mind profoundly on the situation, and it's led me to this position where I think I think the right to life is a right that is a fundamental right, and I think that it happens at conception, and I think that if we say we try to minimize that by say using condoms, contraception, whatever, then let's say condoms have a 99% success rate of protecting, it's still a 1%. That's a risk. If that risk falls through, then I think
you took that risk. Then you should own that,
and we should bear the cost of it. And then we've got situations where unborn babies are being killed in the womb and things like that, and
it's pretty scary, man.
Yeah, it's very very heavy.
And
I do understand though there are certain circumstances when you're like, whoa, that child is like,
No, I agree.
And someone's not ready or
the
whatever.
thing is, there's there's a lot to it, and I used to hold the position, the opposite to that. I was like, oh shit, but then I really thought about the the mental and ethical implications, because there's lots of arguments that can.
There's lots to it.
Yeah, lots and lots.
It's not black and white.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah,
I just think that
everyone's circumstances.
Yeah, I just think a greater probably we're in a very sexualized society.
Yeah,
and I think people honestly, if you said to someone,
shit happens.
And if you said to someone, when you have sex, they have a baby, they'd probably go, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
that's the level we live at right now. Where it's like, what do you mean sex is for having babies?
I know. Yeah, I know.
What do you mean? You mean it like they would just be like? Obviously, people don't always engage in sex having children, but really, that's what it's there for.
Yeah.
One of the primary purposes of sexual intercourse is to reproduce.
Yeah.
And I think we live in a society that's kind of gone, oh yeah, that's just a side thing that sometimes happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just something. And so we put the rods in our arms, we get the vasectomies, we chop the nuts, we do all these kind of things.
Not putting real responsibility on the action.
And you have to understand, when you engage in sex, people wouldn't be the way people engage sexually with the world is quite scary. The way they're walking around, their nuts are filled
flopping
with babies.
Yeah.
And the women's they're filled with eggs waiting to be inseminated. You know what I mean? To be just penetrated by sperm.
Yeah.
And it's so scary that level people are just toying with that. It's just like it's a joke.
We're the sperm that made it.
It's true. Chris said that.
Yeah.
You should look up the sperm statistics. It's insane.
No shit. Yeah.
It's millions of sperm.
Yeah.
Millions of sperm.
How many millions?
I think it's like 100,000.
You were the strongest one. Did you know that, Nick?
Yeah.
You were it.
And isn't that a miracle?
2 to 5 mil of semen. I got it because I memorized it.
Yeah.
2 to 5 mil of semen. Per mil of semen's 15 to 100 million sperm. So we could talk with.
You won
I'm
the
pretty
race.
sure. Don't
you
quote
won
me.
that
Shit.
race. So
And
you're destined
I even
for shit
looked into
vegans
it.
to be a thing.
I even looked into it a little bit more. Because I thought one day one motherfucker's going to say to me, "Well, all the sperm's the same," but it's not true.
No.
They're not.
They go
Survival
through,
of the fittest.
They do go through if it was a different sperm, it would be different.
Yeah.
Now, it's some sort of DNA recombination shuffling process that goes down. I'm not a scientist.
There's that movie,
but I looked into it enough that it would be different. It would be different. And even if it's not different, who cares? We'll take it. You're the sperm that made it. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah. I think also society have placed such a they've made the alternative route a political thing, and because it's so political, obviously all the activists of feminism and all that sort of stuff have taken it on board as like their main source of moving their movement forward and things like that. And
what, being anti-abortion?
Yeah. Pro-abortion. And like the thing is, right, I think a lot of people who actually go through it are they're not educated on the process and the reasons, and people go through it and they end up having an existential crisis because they've made that decision, and it becomes hard to rationalize after that. I'm speaking from, because I know someone really close to me who went through the same thing, and it hurt me a lot. And
so someone went through
without the went through an abortion and
then felt a certain type of way after.
Because they thought that
it was the right thing to do.
Right.
And
then they were like, wow, I've just
life. And I think that there's like conditioning in society as well to have people believe that could be the right path for them, but could come up to the cabal and all that sort of shit playing their games.
Well, I just think that you would hope that someone who's looking is so outside of my realm, but I would just hope that someone who was in that position where abort or not abort had the support and people around them to really help them make that decision in a really informed way, and essentially give them not informed consent, but really inform them on what happens with people, the process of abortion, what happens to people who get abortion sometimes, and how you might feel after abortion, and really walk them through that. I don't really know what the process is like. I don't know how, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know how fast it is. I don't know if it's like walk in, get an abortion, getting a Big Mac.
Who knows?
I don't know. I don't know. But I certainly do think that it gets so hard, man.
It's not fucking easy.
All I know is it's every different.
I got no idea.
Every different being
is situational.
Situational. Like I know for me, for example, if I had have fallen pregnant any time in my life previously, there's a very large chance in the past that I would have just it would not have even been a thought. I would have gone into abortion. Because I wasn't able to understand myself even enough. I couldn't even. Sometimes I didn't want to do anything in the day. Well, how the hell am I? But having said that, I've never been pregnant. We don't know. Like I'm sure, like I'm a woman who's sitting here. Like I don't know the reality of something being inside me and going, how could I?
Yeah. What does this change?
Could I actually do that?
Yeah, for sure.
But like right now, if I was to find out, I'd be like, I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, would be like, right now I sit in this position. I think I actually probably couldn't. But that doesn't mean I want children.
Yeah,
like,
no, for
that
sure.
I'm just like, I don't actually,
Yeah.
like I'm not sitting here going, I want a child so bad.
Yeah.
But I'm not sitting here saying, I don't want a child so bad. I'm sitting here going, it's not a thing for me right now.
Yeah.
But if it was inside my body and I'm like, well.
It was growing and developing. And
I'd be like, shit, I actually couldn't.
What do I do? Yeah. Because then there's the argument of like, when they reach a level of sentience.
Yeah, your consciousness is there.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's up to like 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. I think that's what the most up-to-date science says. And but that is like the window in which it shouldn't be a moral issue.
It's not as in like it's ethically okay.
Because it hasn't developed.
No host there.
Yeah.
It hasn't
there's
developed
there's no conscious person in there.
Yeah.
So it's just would it be the best way to describe it as just like an organism until?
I don't know. Like the term that I hear a lot that gets thrown out is clump of cells.
Okay.
That's the rhetoric that's thrown out in the arguments and things like that. And I think possibly or just like I don't know. Yeah, good question.
To me, when you say that, I just personally, the way I hear that is like, look, there's no conscious being in there up to 8 weeks.
But how do you know?
There's
Because
some sort of life.
How do you know?
how do you not
There's a
know that
life-
you weren't racing that whole way to get there?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you,
I know,
obviously,
I know.
there was a
And it
will.
goes further.
There was
Yeah.
a will in that sperm.
Yeah,
to
for sure.
go
Absolutely.
Yeah.
At that
Yeah.
sheer speed.
Very
Very fast.
straight through.
I even tried to work out, honestly, bro, I tried to work out the length from the tip of the penis to the egg. Obviously, it'd be subjective to penis size, but I tried to work that out. So I even wanted to make it more ridiculous and be like, even then, you also traveled like the equivalent of like 10 fucking soccer fields or something as a tiny sperm. You know
Yeah,
what I
no
mean?
shit.
The distance was probably pretty.
Ah,
The
yeah.
distance,
Yeah.
the distance too was probably pretty hectic.
And then didn't it have to make its way through that?
Yeah, through the cervix into the uterus, where the egg is on the cell
You know
lining.
more on your male.
Really, eh?
Female
Make a big
anatomy,
journey.
yeah.
It's making, that's the first journey, really.
Yeah, isn't
That's
it?
probably the first journey
It's
you
the first
ever made.
calling.
It's the first. It's the
First
first
call.
journey, and the will to survive. The will to life is there.
Yeah, no, it is.
It is.
Have you ever heard of the term semen retention?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
What's that?
You mean just holding in your semen?
Holding it in and not letting it out.
That's a fucking. I verifiably know that reducing the amount of. I'm trying to find a nice word to say. Reducing the amount of times you ejaculate has benefits.
Reducing.
As in, just not ejaculating fucking
Left, right,
5 times a
I,
week.
I think so too. Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah.
It does something
Chi.
to it. The chi.
Yeah.
I always say chi, but it does something to your chi, man.
No,
you
no.
have this high.
I think I
You
agree.
have this high circulating chi.
I mean, I can't speak about the sperm stuff, but I think it's like if you just wait until you naturally get sensations that go from your being to your brain to do that,
Right.
rather than be stimulated via other
yeah,
stuff
or
to be
get
Being an
bored
addict,
and
be
then
fake
go, "All right."
triggered,
Or
to be
being
fake
porn
triggered
addict
to want
or
to.
Yeah.
watching sexualized
Am I
movies
bored?
and
So
that.
do I want, it's like,
Yeah.
am I, what kind of person am I if I only have sex this many times?
What does
Like,
that mean?
it's like following what your body's actually tuned.
I'm gonna be open with you guys. I've struggled with a porn addiction in the past,
Oh yeah.
and I reckon it's caused a lot of issues in like my relationships and things like that. And I'm trying to find ways to sort of eradicate it from my life. Like I'm fucking staunch anti-porn,
Yeah.
but it's a fucking addiction. Like it's you find yourself bored. You're like, all right, we'll fucking
You watch porn.
yeah.
Are you currently watching porn?
Here and there, yeah.
Okay.
Here and
I
there.
applaud you for saying that on
Yeah.
camera because it's a mad. That's a fucking pandemic.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's
That's a
fucking.
real
pandemic.
That's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
real fucking pandemic.
man.
I just got the download. That's a real pandemic.
Getting juicy
Yeah.
right.
Real massive ramifications for society.
I think so
That
too.
also-
Absolutely.
Let's go there. We're gonna take it
that
there. This
is a
also-
good
thing.
That really have
Yeah.
some seriously psychotic, demonic effects on
Agreed.
society.
I'm going to speak after you.
And we're
I
going
want
to
you to
take
do
it
your
all the way
thing.
to child
Go.
trafficking. We're going
Yeah.
to take it all the way to child sex industry because really people make their start in just basic missionary
Put your
pornography.
seatbelts on, kids.
They make their start in missionary pornography, amateur movies, and they make their way to child porn. There is a clear, studied, scientific path from regular porn, just average porn use that society accepts as okay, to child pornography and child
Yep.
sex trafficking.
That
and
that show on
pedophilia
Netflix
being-
called Cuties. Did you hear
I've
about
heard
that?
of that.
Yeah.
I've seen all the fiasco around
and
it.
Yeah.
and
What stimulates people the first time they do it, and then they get used to that, and then it's
the
like, oh, what
novelty.
else?
We have
What
the
else?
novelty
What else?
effect,
What
the novel-
else?
They need
Yeah.
new,
Next
they need
minute,
more
they're literally
They're watching
looking
all
at the most
horrific
wildest
things.
shit.
Yeah.
And then this is where you take it. This is where it goes and affects them out in life.
Yeah.
They know. This is that judgment thing we were speaking
Oh,
about
don't-
earlier.
don't.
Yeah.
They know what they've been doing in their room on their
Keep
own.
going.
They are aware of their actions in their bedroom on their own. And then they walk out into society knowing the stuff that they've been looking at, whatever they've been doing, and then they are assuming that everyone in the world is judging them. They
Facts.
are, and then they're ashamed.
They're ashamed and
And then they start disliking themselves.
big time.
And then it goes from there. And then because their addiction's so there, they just keep going in it. And it's so shameful they feel to say it out loud, to tell anyone about it, that it just keeps going. And then they think, I'm so alone in this. I'm so ashamed of myself. I so don't like myself.
Yeah.
I can't even face off with myself. I can't even. And then you're out in the world assuming that everyone's looking at you, knowing whatever you've done in your bedroom on your own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, like,
yeah.
Kiss your relationship with your mum goodbye. kiss your relationship with any woman in your life
Yep.
goodbye.
Yeah.
I mean, and you might have a relationship, but you don't understand how much this pornography is affecting that relationship. And also, you're entering the world viewing females with this.
Yeah, I know.
You are sexualizing females on a daily basis if you have a porn addiction.
Yeah.
And then you are literally going out to the world, and it's really hard to view females outside of the fact that they're sexual objects, if that's what you're involved in. You know what I mean? And you will struggle with that. And then you will struggle. It's just...
But it's not something to be ashamed of, because that's this whole setup
Conversations need to
has
happen.
been done to, I'm not going to say done to us.
Well, it's allowed.
It's been there.
It's accepted.
And it's been forced as a normal thing. And because of how we're so sexualized in society, by being exposed to this stuff and then taking these actions, it goes there because it makes
another
complete
condition.
sense.
Let me ask you a question. If it was acceptable, why is there so much shame?
Yeah,
why
for sure.
do people who have porn addictions feel so much shame if it's truly acceptable behavior?
And that they can't talk and open up and talk about it.
So it's underground, but
I
society's
think
saying...
most men have had an experience
with porn.
like what you're saying.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I would go as far to say most women too, but in a different sense. And it might have something to do with the fact that the men are doing whatever they're doing, and they've just learnt that from whatever age. And so now they don't know how to and what to actually do in a situation with a woman. So then there's needs not being met emotionally and intimate, like in an intimate way.
Yeah, for sure.
So then there's like these both people, they really want to actually be together. They want to actually enjoy each other's beings.
Yeah.
But they don't know because they've gotten off in another way.
Yeah.
And they haven't tried to find each other. They've been busy looking at these other directions, and that's where they go. When in actual fact, like the depth of sensation and intimacy and love and connection and all the actual reals, fireworks coming out your asshole type thing, comes from being with another being, which is how it.
And then
really,
also,
if that made sense,
Magical.
Hope
It's
that made
magical.
sense.
to leapfrog off Simone, do you think, put it this way, can you imagine being like, how is it okay? Men have porn addictions, right? And they have partners. They have wives. They have they have girlfriends. They have kids.
Yep.
Now, obviously, that's messed up. You have a kid and you're watching porn. I think that's... but I understand the power of porn addiction. I understand that,
for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, really, ethically, morally, people are up in their bedroom rooting other chicks online, essentially, in their mind, whilst their partner is in the shower or something.
Yeah,
Do you know
or
what I'm
even
saying?
laying in bed next to your partner.
Yeah, like something...
Can relate.
Yeah, so it's really mind-boggling. And then when you really look at it and you understand how porn has such a heavy yoke around our neck, in the sense that parts of ourselves can't differentiate the difference between partaking in the action, the sexual action, and actually living it.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
we think, a part of us, when men are watching
We're hurting
porn,
ourselves.
When men watch porn,
the same thing.
When men watch porn, literally there's neurons that fire off as if they're actually having sex with a female.
Yeah.
And then that's when it starts to become a real burden
Because
on you.
human
Because
connection's needed.
You're going,
Yeah.
you're going, oh my God, a part of me actually thinks I'm sleeping with this woman. It actually does. And then not even one woman. Multiple women.
Dude, yeah.
The novelty of multiple women and the effects that has on your human psyche.
And the idea that they're all wanting
Sex.
you in the way that they're playing out, they're faking to each other in front of us.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood. They're half of them
and
are coming
then-
out after saying, I'm psychologically fucked after
Yeah.
that. I'm not to use the word, you know what I mean?
No,
But
yeah.
They're
No,
like...
legit. See, this website here is called fightthenewdrug.org. It's a not-for-profit, non-political, non-religious foundation. And it's about fighting the new drug, which is pornography and pornography addiction. And it tells lots of people with their like testimonials and shit like that who've come out of the
Wow.
Oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps when you're showing me this, because
come out of the industry and
Wow.
yeah,
it's such a big issue, man.
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
really passionate about it.
it's massive. Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
that honestly, if people switch off the porn, if they switch off the TV, live sketch chat, your life will just elevate.
Switch off the porn, switch off the TV, switch on shit vegans.
It's true.
Yeah, it's real
Yeah.
true because we think, oh, it's just a bit of porn. It's not damaging
Yeah,
my
yeah.
life. It's literally destroying your fucking life.
Soul.
It's
Yeah.
literally destroying it. It is literally can be the sole reason why
You can't relate to other
you
humans.
can't relate to other humans.
Yeah.
You can't relate to
Yes.
females, and your life is not taking the course you have an intent for. You know, your intention you have for
No
it.
And
shit.
because it has so much shame, when people are doing this behavior that they've, fallen into for whatever reason, the shame, people already don't like themselves. And then you add a porn addiction.
Yeah.
Like, what? Now you hate yourself.
A coping mechanism.
But now you've gone even deeper and such a disgust for yourself because
Yeah.
whatever, you don't like about your actions and stuff. And then when you're trying to be in society and go out there and connect with others,
And look
you're
at women
doomed
in
for.
the eye.
You're
find it hard,
absolutely
yeah.
doomed
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
because
You find it
eye
hard to
contact
communicate
can't
with
happen
Yeah.
if you're lying.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah.
I know.
It's,
But can I just quickly touch on the what we just said before? They start watching porn on a basic level, and then
Yeah.
then there's 5 women, and now there's a dude in there too, and then there's this happen now and then there's children, and this is where we're at.
this is where pedophiles get
This
born,
is
bro.
this
so.
conversation.
Silent porn websites.
Yeah.
The conversation is look, some time ago, I want to say last March, I'm not going to say where, amongst a room of 400 people. And maybe it's not the amount, but whatever, a couple hundred people. And this girl shared a story of being sold. I don't want to make it too obvious in case it is, key point, she was sold to pedophiles from a relative of hers
Wow.
for many years.
Yep.
And the trauma that was, she was mostly upset that her relative was in jail. So she wasn't mainly upset that she had been abused by pedophiles for many years.
Yeah.
Because you got to understand when children are go through that, they're given love and affection, and it might feel good.
Yeah. Grooming.
And all that stuff.
don't know any better.
So they don't know. But then
Yeah.
when it comes out and they say, look, whatever age she got to, and she was like, she probably didn't want to, she obviously figured out somehow that it wasn't what she wanted and what's
Yeah.
right. So when it came out and the relative's in jail now, she's obviously experiencing that. Now, the thing here is I heard that story and saw her story in the flesh.
Yeah.
And I always struggled to
Compelling,
believe that there were
moving.
pedophiles out there.
Yeah.
You hear of pedophiles and you're like, oh yeah, that's pretty far-fetched because I'm not a pedophile and I don't know any pedophiles.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then when
right,
you
right.
see someone and
Yeah.
you meet someone and you hear their story, and I've only recently heard of another friend of mine that had an experience with her other relative that had interfered with a child. And you go, well, these people they're I want to say the word not like no one's normal. Everyone's not normal, but these people are average,
Yeah.
whatever. You walk
You'd
past
never
the street,
assume
you
it.
would never assume. And I think
Yeah.
this is where we're at.
They're ingrained into society.
There are pedophiles and
Yep.
child sex trafficking trades that are rampant, running wild. We have hundreds of thousands of children going missing in a year. And we all know deep down that if someone can't have a baby, guess what they do? They adopt. And if that can't
Yeah.
happen, and then they do down other avenues, but they're not stealing children. So when we look at how many thousands of children are being, taken,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the child sex trafficking industry. I don't care, call me a conspiracy theorist, but the fact that what we are talking about today and what the world's running around doing right now in 2021, the fiasco that I'm not even going to say the word,
Yeah.
the
yeah.
fact that that's spoken about more than thousands of children being
Agree.
raped and child sex trafficking across the world,
100% agree.
fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
sorry.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get the juice
Get
instead.
fired.
And then,
Yeah.
and then
Good.
Once
Passion.
you know that, once what Simone has said is being understood,
Yeah.
you are, whether you like it or not, engaging on if pedophiles, child sex trafficking is directly linked to just normal pornography watching.
Yeah.
If
Yep.
it's- Then if you are on these websites, you're contributing.
Yeah. No.
You are
I agree.
contributing.
I agree.
So
If
they
you're
get
allowed,
paid.
if you are contributing to traffic on these websites, unfortunately, you
You're
are
part of the
contributing
Yeah.
to child sex trafficking and pedophilia.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
No, I
If
agree.
no one watched these websites, there wouldn't be a thing. But they're a thing.
Yep. No, I agree. 100%. 100%. Yeah.
So even beyond the personal implications it has on your life and your interactions with females and the shame you have for yourself because you know it's
Yeah.
shit behavior, it's literally responsible for a demonic fucking industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the biggest industries in the world. It was just a demonic industry of child sex trafficking and child pedophilia. And like she's just listed off a couple of experiences.
Yeah.
And
millions and
there's
millions,
millions
more
of
out there.
experiences. There's millions of experiences of that. I remember watching a Ted Bundy documentary on Netflix a long time ago where they're talking about raping girls and doing all this crazy shit. And at the end, they have this like tape from his confession or whatever, and he's in it.
Yeah.
And he just says at the end, "Oh, it was just
Pornography.
porn." He said it just started with porn, and my mind fucking split.
Yeah, I
Like
bet.
I was like, "What?
bet.
What do you mean, man?" He literally, not direct quote, but it was something like, "It just started with." Porn.
Yeah. It's the seed that
That is literally that sums it up right there. It just starts with porn.
Yeah,
and
no
then you go down that path, and I applaud anyone who's come out of a porn addiction and shake their hand because it's no small thing.
Nah, it's fucking.
And the chemistry is not in your favor when you're trapped in that cycle.
Yeah,
like,
no shit,
You are
yeah.
going against some serious
Yeah.
actual hardware, real tangible hardware and chemistry in your fucking brain that wants you to watch porn, and you have to have the strength, the will, and the understanding of what you're contributing to.
Yeah.
And I think when you're talking about it to people, if you say you're and you show them, say this is how you're contributing
Yep.
to child pedophilia, child sex trafficking,
Yep.
that's usually enough
Yep.
to inspire someone to have
Yeah,
a
for
win.
sure. It's the same as talking about veganism.
Yeah.
You know, if you're doing, if you're eating this, you're doing this is what's happening.
Yeah.
That's what
It's no
worked for me.
different.
Oh, at
It's
the same
no
time,
And-
I need to be called out. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing, bro? You're better than this. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, for sure.
You know? And someone say, you're being shit. Why are you being shit?
That's
You're not
wicked.
shit.
Yeah.
You're not shit. Why would you do
Yeah.
that?
You're better than that. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing, and I think
That's
that
fucking crazy, man, when
Yeah.
you think about it.
if it's not just about porn, but it's still in the same topic of porn, an addiction to that. If someone, let's just say the average person does have an addiction to porn, if you know that little thing about yourself that you're ashamed of, and you're going to let that slip,
Yep.
you're going to let a lot of other stuff slip.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And it's something that it goes into everything. It goes it's the porn, and then it's the other little lies and
Yeah.
secrets and different things about yourself, and then it's like, oh, and now it's affairs,
Yeah.
and then it's
yeah.
and then it's it goes
You're out there
everywhere.
living double lives, eh?
It's
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you're a fatigued.
there's a lot of
you're
pain.
You're a fatigued, homebound double life liver where you just
Yeah.
want to go home, shut your door, watch porn, eat junk food, and watch TV.
No
And you're
shit.
ashamed. Anytime you step out of that house, you're fatigued and you're ashamed of who you are. So you
Yeah,
spend all your time
anxiety.
putting on
Yeah.
this fake fucking act.
Yeah.
When deep down, you have fraud syndrome because you're a fucking fraud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is okay.
Which is okay.
If you
That's
address
how-
it.
That's
Yeah.
how you should feel.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
You feel like a fraud because you are one.
Yeah. I know.
because that's not who you really
And it's
are.
not in a really...
Yeah.
I'm not trying to degrade anyone who's in that situation. But the reason if people think, these feelings come out of nowhere, they don't. What we were saying before is you get caught up. You feel ashamed because you should be.
Yeah. I know. Right.
Especially
yeah.
in that context. You feel
Yeah.
like a fraud because you're being one.
to
Yeah.
yourself, because
Yep.
you know that you're not that person
You're
that
out there
wants
with
to
your chest
contribute
up,
to
all
that.
puffed up, like walking around like you're prophet of God.
Yeah.
But you're engaged in this behavior. Of course, yourself is going to say, "Bruh, you're a fraud."
Right.
I'm letting you know,
Shins.
bruh. You're
Yeah.
a fraud. Ease up. Don't be trying to put your chest up like that.
Ease up, Turbo.
Yeah, ease up.
Back
You know,
it up,
okay, you
tiger.
want to put your chest up like that. It's going to take a lot of energy because it's not naturally meant to be up like
Yeah.
that. You should be looking at the floor with what you've been engaged in.
No shit.
So,
yeah.
I just would love to see.
Very, very good way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see more men talking about porn and more and not of like just educate. No, back to the education. The fucking hell. But, you know what I mean? Just like really having a conversation about the actual real world implications of porn beyond yourself. You know, because people can say it's like the health thing in veganism. Some people aren't really inspired by their health.
Nah.
Like I wasn't inspired by my health. I mean, I'm more inspired by my health now than I'm actually vegan.
I'm
than I was-
inspired by your health, mate.
Well, I'm more inspired about my own health now than I was before I was vegan. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but the same thing with veganism. Not veganism. Same thing with pornography. You can say, "Look, mate, this is making you a shit fuck. You're in your room,
Yeah.
sweaty, bent over, wanking. This is really, you know what I mean? And then it's
Yeah.
really not good for you as a human. And people go, well, I don't care about that. I want to sit there in my room, eat KFC, and
I
wank.
want the pleasure.
I want the pleasure." But
Yeah.
then you say this: well, are you okay with little kids getting raped? Are you okay with
You're
Child
normalizing
porno-
that.
Are you okay with child pornography?
Yeah.
And most people, most obviously normally mentally healthy people are going to
Yeah.
go, no. And then that's when they'll pull it up.
And then
Yeah,
it's-
no shit.
And
'Cause
even
they have
if it's
inbuilt
not on the
empathy into
child
them.
topic,
Or
Yeah.
just any women. Women
Just
in porn are
trafficking.
gonna get
the whole
Sexual
thing.
trafficking,
we're,
yeah.
we're focusing on the child because that's the most shocking to people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's the
Yeah.
most shocking. But
Yeah.
really, in the reality, just your normal famous porn star could be having a terrible life.
Yeah. And lots of
Mostly.
these stories on the website here, you know, so what we got here is the fightangnewdrug.org website. And yeah, heaps of people talking about their stories. And there's some like ex-porn stars, like male porn stars who say, I left the industry because I was getting my money, getting the drugs to numb the pain, shooting the porn, getting the money, getting the drugs to numb the pain. And it was just like the cycle.
Vicious cycle, hey.
Yeah. And he pulled himself out of it, and he's come good. Took a long time, but it's like one of the most well known in the industry and whatnot. And I can say that I struggle, but I can also say that I'm fucking so much better than what I was. Like,
That's awesome.
sometimes I'd fucking like come back. I'd go maybe 4 or 5 times a day. Sometimes back,
Wow.
going back. Yeah. It got to a really bad point.
Even in your like recently in times?
Not recently,
Yeah,
like,
but like
over the last couple of years,
Yeah,
whatever.
wow.
As I've been trying, as it's become more, I've become more aware of
Yeah.
it, and because it was so ingrained into me, and I didn't realize all of the fucking
You know
ethical
what the cool
implications.
part is? You saying it out loud for everyone
Really
to hear.
empowering.
You're calling that. You've answered the call right now.
That's answering.
Yeah,
the
right.
question.
I dare say it would be very, very challenging. I was going to use the word hard, but I would say it's very challenging for you now to engage in it. The more you speak about it,
Absolutely.
Like if you
yeah.
Yeah.
might not even work.
Crosses my mind, and
Yes.
like, I don't know, it's dropped down to like maybe, I don't know, once or twice a week.
Yeah.
You know, like something
Well,
like
I only,
that. But
even from what you're
it's just
saying,
in
That's
bad
amazing.
moments.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I only know this because I used to watch porn.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I stopped watching porn once I realized all these things.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? And I can tell you from my own fucking experience that just without compassion for yourself, obviously, is the biggest one.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
you can't, like I said, chemistry, once you understand the chemistry involved in watching porn,
Yeah, for
it
sure.
really can be against you. And
The dopamine, the serotonin.
it takes a lot of consistent time.
Yeah.
And just go, and okay, there's going to be people out there who stop at just cold turkey, whatever, and all
Yeah.
fucking power to them. But for you, even just being on the path and going and just trying,
Yeah.
and just trying and just trying, and then you fuck up and you do it, and then going, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. But what I will do is I'll watch and I'll understand and I'll pay attention to how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And really just sit there and go, that was
Make the
fucking
adjustments.
gross. I never want to feel that again. Go, and you might go a week, and then it might happen again. You go fuck, and then you pay attention to how shit you feel, and then
Yeah,
you keep
and you get
going, you
worse
keep
and
going, you
worse.
keep going, you keep going, and then you go, wow, I feel really great not doing this, and then you might go 6 months and then watch porn again, and then you might feel so shit that you don't watch it for a year, and then you might watch it again, and then it's so
Yeah.
just in being involved in it like that, it's amazing. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
on the
for
path
sure.
to ending. It's on the path to ending. And it just keeps growing, and then I think you're deregulating all that mental hardware too.
Yeah,
the addiction,
for sure.
all those pathways that are in there,
Yeah.
and all those habits of boredom, and then the next jump is bored porn, are also
Yeah,
if
yeah.
You can, because you might,
Yeah.
and
That's
I
the
tell you
cycle.
from direct experience too, is that you will have, and I'm sure you have had powerful moments where you've been in there, you've had the clarity to realize what's going on, and you feel the chemicals inside of you calling you to watch porn. You can feel the dopamine.
Yeah.
You feel the increase in heart rate. Almost your body's honestly preparing for sex at that point because it
Yeah.
thinks that's what I'm saying. It thinks
Yeah.
it's having sex with these women.
Yeah.
So your heart rate's going up. Dopamine's getting engaged, and
At
you-
that
and
point, you're
and
out
that,
of
and that
control.
bit and that
Yeah.
bit you're about to get out of control. And if you have the ability in that moment to just go, oh, like that moment there, that's a fucking transitional moment in life where you're changing your destiny, and you can just go, I'm just gonna go for a run. I'm just gonna read a book.
Yeah.
I'm just
I'm
gonna
just gonna
try.
do something
I'm just gonna do
else.
something, and oh man, that's that moment there. I'm sure most porn addicts have a moment like that, or people who engage in porn.
Yeah.
That's one of the most transformational moments, overcoming those chemicals in that moment.
Go ride the
So,
push bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone is listening and that, like, it's any addiction, if you think about it, that's the same with all addictions. It
Yeah.
has to start with deciding I'm
Making it a
not
priority.
like, because like I never had a porn addiction, or I did not engage in that. But when you're saying exactly what you were just saying, it took me back to when I had like bulimia, because I had to decide I'm not going to do that behavior. And it just goes from doing it so often to then, okay. And then exactly what you just said, it's like, okay, then you have a, you stuff up.
It comes back, yeah.
And then you're like, oh shit, that was so. And then it's like, okay, that's gone a week, and then it's a month, and it's 6 months, and then you go 2 years have passed, but you have a binge and a purge, and you go, fuck, that was so. I'm never going back there again.
Yeah,
that's where you get to.
And you know what's so great about it? What you were saying, you just lit something up for me. Is that the more you have these big gaps, because you're not engaged in the activities so much, it feels worse.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah.
when you do it,
so like if I were to go eat a steak,
like if you went to go watch porn now and you hadn't watched porn in 6 months, the way how shit you would feel is not how shit you would feel if you were doing it 4 times a day.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because you're constantly engaged in it, so you don't really have time to get away from it to realize how terrible it made you feel.
Yeah,
and that's what the benefit of is when you get time away from it, is that you're just like, oh my God, I feel so terrible about that.
Yeah,
and I think that really is
because you'll make the decision.
Yeah,
and it will start with having a conversation with yourself.
Yeah,
it's the mirror combo, and once you've made that decision, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Doesn't matter what you think of anyone else. It doesn't. Nothing else matters because you've made the decision. So it's like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not doing it.
And it's cool because you can trust that, and you can say like, oh no, you can fuck up and go, well, I'm trying. You have a genuine when it's heartfelt and it's genuine. You don't have to beat yourself up about it because you know this will happen. You have to trust that this will end.
Yeah,
and I'm just gonna. It's not an excuse to watch fucking porn.
Yeah,
but it's just a genuine thing. And then what I also realized is, you really triggered it for me, is that being bored's good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like we're conditioned to think.
We're
boredom is shit vegans.
No, but you know what I mean. Like we're conditioned that you're bored, you must feel this, like it's a negative thing.
Do something about
it. But really,
boredom
is a great thing because. Well, but that's the great thing. Doing something about your boredom in a healthy, productive way is great because you sit there and go, what do we do? Like I'm saying, you need to be able to sit there and just chill with yourself. But you find yourself in these boredom moments and you go, I want to do something. What can I do? Let me come up with an idea.
Yeah.
This
and
is
don't
great.
just go straight to porn.
If you don't, it's not even porn.
You have a
straight
whole
to
list
porn.
of stuff you got
Straight
to do.
food.
Yeah,
Probably got
straight to Netflix.
Mechanic stuff to do.
Yeah,
straight to Netflix.
Clean my fucking ground. Yeah,
anything.
Yeah,
so if you sit
something
there and
that
bored,
shit.
what can I? Really, great ideas. I would love to go back in history and go, how many great ideas that are responsible for our modern life came out of boredom, where someone said, you know what, fucking hand me a piece of paper, I'm going to try and come up with some crazy invention, bang the toaster or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, so it's a good thing. I think it's a good
for
thing.
sure.
And I think your time you'll find, it's like anything. People say, I have no time, but you watch porn on Netflix and you do all this shit. You know what I mean? Or
I love that.
imagine how much time you're going to have when all of these things are gone. And you might only watch porn half an hour a week or 15 minutes or whatever you watch it for.
Yeah.
But what it does to your respect for time and the urgency on your life will be way more than saving 15 minutes a week. It'll be hours.
Yeah.
It will be fucking hours because you're really taking your own life back in your own fucking hands.
Fuck yeah. That is what is up. Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
We could
go for hours.
talk for hours. We've been going near 2.5 hours. So
wow.
Yeah. What do you say we wrap it up there?
Yeah.
On a
I'm
good
glad
note.
we finished on that porn thing. You know, I really want. If it was me, I would just challenge anyone to just go online and type in updated porn statistics and just get really immersed in statistics on porn. How much porn websites gross.
Yeah.
How much.
Yeah.
What it's doing to the child sex trafficking industry. How much money the porn industry makes. How prevalent it is amongst young people and just society in general.
Yeah.
Like something like I've seen 25% of all internet downloads of porn, 35% of internet downloads of porn. Like crazy statistics on porn that would literally blow your mind apart.
No shit. Yeah.
You know? So it's really it's one of the big. I'm gonna dare say that porn is the real pandemic at the moment.
Yes.
I think so too.
I agree.
Obviously, we have several pandemics going on.
Oh, we have a few.
Like the real pandemics out. Yeah, the real. I would dare say we're told narratives about pandemics. Okay, well, porn is a real pandemic.
Yeah,
people are really dying.
That's a really that's a massive pandemic, and I think we need to address the real pandemics that have been there in front of our eyes and let. We've just let slip by. They're not even blind spots because we know they're there.
Yeah.
They're not even blind spots because we know we're there. But we just, it's one of those things. Yeah. Pull yourself 4 times a week. You don't use it, you lose it. Fuck off.
Yeah, that's
That's bullshit.
That's some condition talk.
Did you see the condition? They're saying wank
Yeah.
5 times a week, otherwise your nuts are going to fall off.
Yeah,
it's actually the reverse.
It probably means-
you fucking levitate.
Yeah, and it probably means that it's probably really bad for you, and it could cause you some sort of like prostate cancer or something in the future, or you're probably not meant to be that stimulated.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not saying like
I think it probably does desensitize.
for sure. Yeah,
Like
I reckon so
wanking.
too.
Yeah.
oh huge, massively.
Yeah, yeah. Because when I go like I don't know, say weeks at a time or like a week or whatever, that first time is fucking like even without it, because I can do it without it.
Yeah.
But the first time without it is magical. It's like what the fuck, and like I'm not out seeking it. Like you know, I'm just trying to maintain my own self. But yeah, it's magical, man.
It's different, man.
Yeah,
That's how
it's next level.
Oh, it's ecstasy.
Yeah, legit.
Literally, it's really and then if you're combining that with a love for someone else and intimacy, real intimacy in that, it's just like you may as well be smoking fucking heroin.
Yeah, no shit.
Heroin, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So
the real shit. Shit vegans, man.
Shit vegans.
Yeah, who's still here? If anyone's here, do you want to drop us a comment quickly for the last before we go? We still got 2 viewers.
Awesome.
It looks like we still got Chris Konski, if you're here, mate. According
Shout out
to
Chris.
Yeah, shout out to Chris.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we'll have you back on the show. And you guys, you're here until whenever. So if I can have you on again,
We
talk
can have
shit.
more chat.
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
take it to. We can actually
take
pick the topics and go, okay, we're going to talk about this and this and this.
Yeah,
So
for
I dare say
sure.
we could talk about
Yeah,
it.
so the way I do the show is I talk about what I've done throughout the week.
Yeah.
And then I talk about the topic, which takes up the bulk. And then I try and take questions and whatnot towards the end.
Cool.
I like it.
But this is, it's still here, Cobber. Any questions for these guys before we go? I'm sure.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome,
Yeah.
eh? Like,
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
vegans,
I
man.
love chats.
And this is the first time I've done it with more than 2 people.
Oh, it works,
There you
man.
go.
Yeah,
When you
yeah.
have, like, the thing with like when you have 3 people, if you have 3 people who can really hold a conversation,
Yeah.
and not kill each other when they're talking,
Fucking A, yeah.
it works.
No
It
shit.
works. I would have never
Absolutely.
been able to do this 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think so
I
too.
would have just
Yeah.
been screaming.
Yeah. Yeah, the stoicism shines through, doesn't it? But yeah, so this has been the Shit Vegan Show. Thank you to Simone and Abdullah for coming on the show. We will pick it up again next week on Monday, 7:30, as we do. Yeah. I have to stand up for it. And
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
no worries.
Thanks for the game.
Yeah, for
Thanks
sure.
For getting
Yeah.
the original for me.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Anytime. So what I usually do is I bring on this new screen. So, all right, everyone, catch us later. Hang on.
See ya.
I also put the track on there. So later, guys.
That was cool.